is going on, everyone? It's episode 120, recorded on Sunday, February 26th, 2023. I'm John, and hey, Drew. Kevin is shopping for a new motorcycle and finds one for a great price, albeit with one caveat. It's got a busted seal, so whenever it rains, he has to smear Vaseline over the spot where the seal should be protecting it. Anyway, his girlfriend is having him over for dinner to meet her parents that night. He drives his new bike to her place where she's outside waiting for him. No matter what happens at dinner tonight, she says, don't say a word. Our family had a fight a while back about doing dishes, so now we have a rule that whoever speaks first at dinner has to clean them all. Kevin sits down for dinner, and it's just how she described. Course after course, the dishes are piling up in the kitchen, and nobody's saying a word. So, Kevin decides to have a little fun. He grabs his girlfriend, throws her on the table, and has sex with her right in front of her parents. His girlfriend is a little flustered, her dad is livid, and her mom is horrified by the time they're done. And still, no one says a word. A few minutes later, he grabs her mom, throws her on the table, and enjoys a repeat performance. Now his girlfriend is furious. Her dad's boiling with rage, but her mother is just a little bit happier. Yet again, there is complete silence at the table. Suddenly, there's a loud clap of thunder and it starts to rain. It's pouring outside. And that's when Kevin suddenly remembers his motorcycle. He jumps up and grabs his jar of Vaseline. Horrified, his girlfriend's father jumps away from the table and screams, "Okay, enough already! I'll do the fucking dishes!"
Drew loves nature and thinks John's a cheater. That's right, it's time for another episode of the Dads After Dark show. Take it away, boys.
What is up, everybody? On tonight's episode, we wrap up another mayhem. We've been playing a lot of games, so we're going to talk about them. I have a few things to say about Pokemon, let me tell you. And lots and lots and lots of questions from you guys, the listeners, that we're excited to answer.
Lots.
Woo! John, what's going on, buddy?
Before I get into what I wanted to talk about, hey, Drew, do you have Amazon Fresh?
You know, I do not. Sell me on it. Give me. Yeah, this is it. You have 30 seconds.
Amazing.
Well, I'm going to time you. You have 30
seconds.
seconds to tell me why I should go.
So Amazon, if you go to Amazon, you can order produce and it's Amazon Fresh. It's a separate cart and you can just throw frozen foods, Parmesan, soda, bubbly, whatever you want in there. And then what'll happen is you pick a delivery time and somebody locally will pick that stuff up and drop it at your door, ring the bell and leave. And it's amazing. You tip, but the tip isn't, and it just saves you so much freaking time. I love it. I get so much bubbly that way. I don't have to carry it to the fucking parking lot.
That's it. Listen, so I'm confused. So are they shopping at your local market? Is it just like...
No, there's like an Amazon warehouse.
Grocery. It's Amazon grocery store.
Yep. And they just deliver it. We always have it delivered from like 6 to 8 a.m. And it's just, they ring the bell. And
so it's no different than like Stop and Shop, Peapod, or whatever the fuck they call it. But
correct.
Amazon, who's taking over the world, is now delivering food.
Right. But it's just a way better interface and they never mess it up. And like normally you'd say, go to King Soopers and get me this stuff. And if they don't have it, they do substitutions. You get some weird things. Amazon Fresh, they know what's in stock. And when you get it, like they're always 100% accurate.
So how do they deliver frozen food?
Oh, they put it in a bag that they have like an extra, it's like an insulated bag. That's why we get it delivered 6 to 8 a.m. It's colder, especially now. It's freezing outside. So I've just like, I love it. It saves me so much time. I'm like, when the fridge starts getting low and my bubbly's getting low, I'm like, boom.
And I can imagine once you create your favorite or shopping list, it's probably so much easier the third, fourth, and fifth time you're ordering. The first time you might have to go, search some stuff, make sure you find the right ones that you typically get.
Yep.
All
yeah,
right.
you just tap the ones.
How's price compared to like a Walmart or Target or whatever?
Fine. It doesn't feel more expensive. I mean, everything's more expensive, it seems, but like it doesn't feel like I don't feel like getting gouged.
You're not spending like $50 more overall or anything like that.
No, not at all.
And do you pay for like a delivery service charge or anything, or no?
No delivery charge, but there's like a recommended tip that they default, and you can change it.
Yeah.
I just leave it at whatever the recommended tip. It's worth it.
So is it somebody like a local person just in their car that drops it off?
Yep. I saw it was like somebody in like a little like an SUV pulled up to our door. It's great.
I'll check into it, John.
I started doing it because I was running out of my bubbly. And I get in trouble when I run out of my bubbly or my LaCroix, and I was like, "Oh my god, you can have it delivered to my door in the morning," and because I don't have to go out, and I love it. So. But anyway, I wanted to talk about something. This is parenting. Your kids are what are they? What are they? 8, 9 now?
6 and 8. They're almost 9.
So much like when there's so many issues you have when your kids are various ages, and my kids are getting older now.
They are.
They are about to be 16, 14, 12.
Wow.
And it gets complicated. Drew, it gets complicated as they get older. You think it gets easier. In some ways it does.
Masturbation, shaving,
dude,
porn.
I don't want to get anywhere near my son's room. But then you have these kind of issues. So so here's a story. My son's birthday is next month. He's turning 16. Cedric. Okay. Turning 16. He's my son who when did COVID, like we started doing shutdowns for COVID in March?
3 years ago. Yeah. Right. 3 years ago. Yeah.
That was when he was going to turn 13. He had a birthday party ready to go. And everyone sort of kind of canceled out, and we canceled the party. It was just when COVID was hitting. So at 13, 14, 15, he never got his teenager party or anything like that.
Yeah.
He started in 16, whatever. And, what do you want for your birthday? And he wants this custom controller. Okay. God. We're thinking like it's just a custom looking controller. I don't know, whatever. He has a PS4 in his room. He plays Apex Legends a lot. I'm going to talk about it a lot next week. But so today we were like, you need to let us know which controller you want. It's customized, whatever. So he comes to my desk. I go to the website and he configures it. I'm sitting there playing my Switch and he's done. And I go there and look at it. $290. I was like, wait, what?
It's just
so this is a website. What is the name of the website? Scuff Gaming. And apparently, I've never heard of this. Apparently what they do is they make really good third-party controllers, not cheap like Mad Cat stuff or whatever, but like really good third-party controllers that are pro level. So like these pro controls, the $200 controls that you see.
Weight to them and yeah.
And it's got like paddles on the back and whatever. This is a PS4 controller. It's wireless, everything. But it's a third-party controller, and it's got a custom look to it and custom buttons and whatever. And yeah, like
does it come with a blowjob?
I mean, I would take that. But like, I was really stuck today. Like, do I want to buy this for him? Because on one hand,
buy him a system.
I mean, he's missed his birthdays and whatever. He's turning 16, and it's like I want to get him something cool. And I don't even mind the cost in general. I bought Sebastian. We bought him a Mac Mini for his birthday last year.
Yeah.
He needed a computer, but we made it his birthday. But a $290 controller, and I was talking to him today about it, and I said, "Look, you might not have a PS4 forever, right? I mean, how long does he have a PS4? We might get him a PS5. Who knows?
Yeah.
He might want to just use some. He still has Christmas money. He could buy most of a PS5.
They had them in stock today when I was at the store.
I know, with the Ragnarok is like the big one now. And I was like, what if this controller breaks? Like, if I have a controller that breaks, it's like, all right, I'll buy a new one. You know, $290 controller is like,
I have a warranty.
Like, I know, and I was just going back and forth on it. Like, I don't want to buy this thing for him. It feels like a waste or whatever. But this is what he wants. And yeah, I did. I bought it. I can still cancel it because it's Sunday. But the thing that really bugs me, and this is what makes parenting complicated, is he spends a lot of time in his room and he plays Apex Legends. We have time controls on his PS4, so he can't play more than like 2.5 hours, whatever I have it set to. It's different on each day. So it's like kind of encouraging him to play more, whatever. It's fine, I guess. But like he's one of those teenagers now. He barely talks to us. He goes up to his room. He's not playing Apex the whole time in his room, but he stays in his room. And he'll come down for lunch and then he'll go back to his room. You just don't even see him. He's not the most thoughtful kid like he used to be. He's very much just into his own world and his friends and doesn't care. And I feel like, man, getting him this expensive controller just sort of encourages that habit.
That's tricky. That's a tough one.
But it's what he wants. So if I say, no, we'll get you something else, he's going to be hurt.
$70 controller, like what's the point?
But he's got that. I mean, he has a couple PS4 controllers.
I mean, if he doesn't want anything else, I mean, it's always a tough situation. You buy the kids what they want, right? Even it's like, why waste your money on other shit? It's always the tricky one. Is I'm wondering. I mean, he knows now. He knows he's getting it or no?
He pretty much knows he's getting it. I mean, he had to customize it, right? Yeah. I mean, I could not get it, but then he'd be expecting it.
So
it'd be way worse.
Is $290 like a flat fee, or are there like different features you can add and subtract? Like, did you make a $500 one? Did you make a $100 one?
He may have customized it, but I mean, he customized it what he wanted. So I'm not going to say, well, you can't have those paddles.
Yeah, no, I got you.
He actually put a carrying case. That came with Gamer Grip, which is like a liquid you put on so that your thumbs stick to the. It was just like, oh my God. And somebody asked in the Discord, is he like a professional? And like, no, he's not. He has told me in the past he wants to be a professional gamer, and it's like, but I think he just wants to be as good as possible at Apex. He plays with his friends. And it's just like, but if the controller breaks or whatever, it's just going to be a lesson learned. I'm hoping. When he gets it, I'll tell him, hey, can we see you from time to time? Or like
not anymore.
Parenting is hard, man. There's tough decisions. And, when you have to buy something that is not worth it, just get a regular, you have a regular controller. You don't need this. You can get anything else. But sometimes you have to do these things and it sucks because I don't know. It's tough, man.
It is
when
tough.
Your kids man, Evan, I know Evan's got the Pokemon crack habit. I saw it again in action.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, I came home with 2 giant Pikachu Squishmallows today, John.
Huge mellows.
Huge mellows. We Twitch story, right? The Pokemon has these Squishmallows out there. I think they have Gengar and Pikachu. And I showed them to my kids yesterday. I think I should thank Kuzi for this. I think he's the one that told us about him for whatever reason. He brought it up, and so I showed it to them, and they thought they were the funniest things ever. Because if everyone knows what a Squishmallow is, it's a Pikachu. They have no arms or legs, so the kids thought it was hysterical. And I was like, all right, let me. And I was, we didn't do any. It's school vacation. We didn't really do anything. So like, I kind of felt like that little deal did. We didn't go anywhere. We did like we went to some place locally around here one day. Like they had a sleepover. We didn't really do anything. I said, I'll order them. And then Zoe, of course, I want one too. So I thought they were a little pricey. They were like $40 each. And I'm like, that seems a little high. But I was like, maybe it's the Pokemon tats. Like it's Squishmallow's brand, right? And then, but I thought they were like the size of like a soccer ball, And then when we get there, I ordered them online. We did store pickup. We go there, and this kid, I was like, oh, wife, we're all 4 of us. We're just picking up some Squishmallows. And he's like, okay. He comes out with this box that, like, I can't describe to you how big. He could barely carry it. And I'm like, what's in the box? He's like, I don't know, but this is the box with your name on it. And even this other girl was like, what's in the... And he opens it, and he's like, oh, it's Squishmallows. And he just pulled them out, and they were this, like... You saw them. They're huge.
Were they in like a cardboard?
Well, I think it's that they probably shipped them. Like they probably never opened the shipping box. Like 2 Squishmallows fit in one box, and that's probably that it shipped to Target, and they just never unpacked them yet.
Wow,
it was ridiculous. And then the other reason why I was at Target today because the new Mario movie toys got released to the stores today. If you guys didn't know, so now they're live. You can go find them in Walmart and Targets. And I was looking for them. There was an end cap. There was 3. I saw 3 of them on the bottom.
Explain what an end cap is, because I didn't know when you said it first.
An end cap. An end cap is like the end of the aisle. That's where they put all the big stuff. That's like that's the cool stuff.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I know what it is, but you use the term, and I was like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You were literally in a chat, and you said, man, look at this ugly end cap. And I was like, what? And then, and Kuzi's like, yeah, I know, I'm not responsible. I'm like, it was like, what are you guys talking about?
So anyways, they had 3 toys sitting on the shelf from the movie. It was Peach, Luigi, and Toad. And I was like, well, I don't want those. I want Bowser. I want the giant Bowser that breathes fire. So this woman's walking by. God bless her, young lady. I was like, do you have any more of the Mario movie toys? She's like, oh, well, I don't know. She's like, let me look. Or she's like, are you looking for a specific one? I was like, yeah, I want the Bowser. And she's like, okay, let me look. And she looks on her phone. She's like, well, it says we're sold out, but it says we might have someone back. Let me go ask the toy department. She comes back and goes, we have them in a pallet in the back room. I'm going to go start opening some boxes for you. God bless this woman. And she comes out with this massive Bowser guy, and he's awesome. And I have him right here next to me, and Evan's already trying to steal him. And I'm like, no, that's Daddy's toy. You get the Pikachu.
Right.
So I'm pumped about those. So if everyone's looking for those, they're out and about.
It's a gigantic Bowser.
It is. It's huge.
It's huge.
I gotta tell couple other stories quickly. One, Disney Infinity is back in the house, John. So remember a while ago, I actually did a TikTok, right?
Yeah, I remember the TikTok.
The TikTok. So Evan didn't know about that. I never told him. I mean, that was probably over a month ago?
That was almost 2 months ago. It had to be.
So they've been sitting in my basement, unopened, waiting for a rainy day.
Real? I didn't know that. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. So
look.
Tuesday, school vacation day, I was home from work. That was the rainy day because I said, this is going to do all day entertainment while I can work. Well, John, let me fucking tell you a thing or two about Disney Infinity. Of course, all the Star Wars and the Marvel characters, you need Disney 2.0 and 3.0. And what does Drew not have? Disney Infinity 2.0 or 3.0, John. Who the fuck knows? Who knew?
So wait a minute. What does that mean?
There was 3 versions of the game. They came out of 1.0, and there was
Was there
50 characters that came out. Those characters only worked on 1.0. When Marvel Disney Infinity came out, it was 2.0, and you needed, it came with the disc, and it came with all the characters.
Right.
And then 3.0, I think, was Star Wars and a bunch of other characters.
Okay.
I didn't fucking know that. I thought the characters themselves, because he likes playing the toy box mode. He just likes he doesn't even like playing the levels.
Right.
I thought the characters would be like, you don't need the disc. I think, the characters would just work.
Right.
Well, silly me, they don't work. So poor Evan here, pumped up, ready to play, and about 75% of the characters I got didn't work.
So, but can't you get 3.0?
Oh, yeah, but I didn't have it that day, Tuesday.
Oh,
John.
I see. Okay. All right.
So I went on eBay.
Okay.
And I ordered it. 2.0 and 3.0 combined packages, total $8.99. Can't beat that.
You
Came
probably
Thursday.
can. You
Came
probably
Thursday.
could have found it for cheaper, actually.
You probably could.
So, are they 3 separate games, or is 3
separate games? Like if I'm trying to play and it says like you want to put in, and I put on a character, it'll be like, no, you have to put in this disc, which is annoying.
Wow, I didn't know that, but I guess I wasn't paying attention. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
They just put them out yearly, you think, or
Well, I don't know. It was every 2 years, every year. There was just another stamp that make more money off of it.
I mean, I'm looking at the package and it says Disney Infinity. It doesn't say 1 or 2 or 3 near it, but then in yellow, like away from it, it says 3.0 edition. Like, wow.
Yeah.
That's really confusing.
I mean, maybe shame on me for not doing my Disney Infinity research. I just figured the characters would work. Like maybe you couldn't play the story mode and stuff, but like I thought the characters were interchangeable. You
update the game, like you got the latest edition version of the game, and because you have to buy the characters, you're essentially buying DLC. Although technically not. I mean, it's weird. That's weird.
But we're all set now. He's been playing it. He's pumped. He still plays that. So I have a fucking Wii U set up in my living room.
He's not going to play it for long. So you posted that video crazily enough, January 17th. It feels like 6 months ago. It was 40 days ago. Crazy.
Been sitting, holding on to them.
Wow. How do you hold on to that for 40 days?
I don't know. I still kind of forgot it because it's Disney Infinity. Like, who cares?
No, I think you did forget about it.
I did. Well, John, I am officially a retard.
Retard. We just offended half our fan base, but it's a Borat joke.
Borat. I am officially retired as a hockey referee, John. It feels weird. 24 years, 17 years doing Division I college.
Gosh.
Yeah. There was a question, I forget who asked about any solid moments. I talked about a few. Knocked on wood, I can knock on. I don't even have to anymore because I'm not a hockey ref. But as far as injuries goes, I've seen a lot of nasty injuries, like sliced open, like the lips, almost like
ref injuries.
I've seen refs, yeah, like almost like the Joker type slice. I've seen like bad finger cuts and stuff like that. But as far as me, I got really lucky. I had one injury. I was at Yukon, where I was skating back in the zone and a girl was coming up behind me and she kind of like slew-footed me with her leg and tripped me, and I fell directly backwards, hit my head on the ice, knocked out cold.
Wow, you were just out on the ice?
Out cold. So that was, just a little concussion and stuff, but I was okay. I actually finished the game and stuff, no big deal. But it was, really my only.
Did you fake it? Like you were okay, and you're like, maybe one of the hockey player girls will give me mouth to mouth right now.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely was out cold, but like when I woke up, I felt like fine.
Right.
I like they asked me all the stupid concussion tests and ABCs backwards and all that crap. Yeah. That's over my career. I did a lot of big games. I did some bean pots back in the day. I did.
What was
bean
this?
Pots. You ever heard of the bean pot? It's a big hockey thing. Bean pot. It's a Boston term.
What's a bean pot?
Big four Boston schools play each other in like a little round robin tournament.
Okay.
I went to the Frozen Four twice. One was in Minnesota Duluth, and one was in what was the other one?
So you went to like Minnesota,
Erie, Pennsylvania.
Oh wow.
Yeah, those were the two.
We have a really good college hockey team in Denver, by the way.
Do you?
Yeah, Denver Pioneers. Yeah. Oh, maybe not women's. I don't know about their women's program.
Yeah, I don't know either. No, they do not. I'll tell you right now, they don't. I know all the women's teams in the country.
Okay.
I was on ESPN's Top 10, John, back in the day. For calling what you love is a beautiful goal. There was a sick play, this goal, and I was the one calling the goal, so I was there.
Wow.
I was on.
Do you have video? Do you know?
I mean, I don't remember. It was years and years and years ago.
Oh, okay.
And I had a lot of good one-liners back in the day, from handling from myself to people. As a ref and getting to know the coaches, you got to know who you're working with and a lot of things. I remember I'll tell you one funny two stories. One of them was I was young linesman, and I was on the blue line, and this coach was known to just yell at people. And I'm just standing there on the blue line, and this coach puts his foot like onto like the side of the like the bench, right? So he's like leaning over the ice, and he gets right in my ear, and he goes, "Diffusco, you get paid too much to suck." And it was just like, I'm just standing with my back to him, just like laughing now on the ice. Like, touche, buddy. There was another time I went over this head coach was it was a female. She was absolutely screaming her head. You probably couldn't get away with this nowadays. She was pissed about something. Andy. So I come over to
she knew your name because you have Diffusco on your back.
Yep. Andy. I said, what's up, coach? He goes, "You missed this call, blah, blah." I said, "Coach, you look lovely in that jacket today." And she just kind of laughed, and that was it. You gotta just know how to diffuse the situation sometimes.
Diffusco the situation.
Diffusco.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots and lots of stories. It's bittersweet. I think I'll miss a lot of the people that I met. You meet a lot of good people, right? In just hockey, in any sport or any organization, right? Between referees and the coaches and the assigners, and even the equipment managers that I used to go to the rinks and go see and hang out with before the game. They give you some some gum, or they say, let me sharpen your skates, or here's some, whatever it might be. You
Right.
meet a lot of connections. It was also fun, like going to a lot of college campuses, right? So there was a lot of the times, like if I know I was going to Harvard and I saw that the football team was playing a game, at 1 o'clock, and my game was at like 4 o'clock, I would go maybe an extra hour, and I would go and watch the football game for a quarter or two, and then just walk over to the game. Like a lot of that stuff was really cool. I think I've seen soccer, like playoff games, that would go late. There's a lot of sports like that I could kind of, go early and, walk around the campus even, or go get a cup of coffee and walk around the campus and just, hey, how many people can say that they've been to like all these big, Division I schools and Ivy League college campuses?
I went to Harvard.
Yeah, I've been to Harvard
to watch a game and be a ref.
Yeah, so
Cool,
there's a lot of cool memories like that I'm definitely gonna miss, and I'm 90. I said 90. I'm probably more like 95%.
I was just gonna say, you hinted to me that maybe there's a chance you can get a more optimized schedule.
Yeah, there's
what
a small
is the word
chance
on that? So,
well, it's funny. I come home and the first two things my kids say, like, "Was that your last hockey game?" I'm like, "I think so, guys," and they're like yeah, like celebrating.
Oh,
not
boy.
because like they're happy for him, because they're like more dad time. So
Yeah,
it's like,
you're
how
done.
do you?
You're done.
Between coaching soccer and coaching baseball, my wife being an accountant during tat season, it's like, it's tough, it's tough. And I think I'm finally done.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's going to be tough to tell your kids, I got to go.
Well, yep.
Unless you drop some other things like your coaching leagues and whatever. It's like you could drop those, I guess. But
yeah, but I think my kids like that. I think they like that I'm part of it and helping them coach and going to the soccer games. And
what did Amy think? Like, that she like...
Amy's like so neutral about it. Do what you want. Like, she would never make me quit, or she would never make me keep going.
That's cool.
I think she's the same way. Like, the money's nice, and we're not talking like in a season I'll make like $8,000. So It's not like it's game changing money. Like, it's probably one really nice family vacation a year, but the amount of hours I probably work isn't worth it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's usually like when you leave work on a Friday, and you get home at like 11:30, that's probably when it feels.
And you don't see the kids at all that day, and you literally work like 17 hours. It's like, yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah.
So that's it. I think I'm done. Enough about me.
Cool.
Moving on.
I mean, yeah. Let's talk about Manscaped.
Let's do it, because Manscaped now sells beard products, Sean. That's right. We talked about this last time, and let's talk about it again, because they are once again revolutionizing men's grooming with the brand new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. From a beard trim to a fresh shave, the technology behind the Beard Hedger Pro Kit allows you to shape your signature beard look. Now you can finally use Manscaped products to make your drapes match your carpet by going to manscaped.com using the code NINDADS for 20% off and free shipping. Now, John, last time we talked about this, you were all in on this product. Have you changed? Have you continued this? What's your thoughts?
I probably need to. I did. I shaved. So look, take a look right here. Right. See, I shaved.
I see some gray. That's what I see.
Shaved my neckline. Oh, plenty of gray.
Beard.
Plenty of gray. Shaved the neck today.
Mm-hmm.
It had been a while. You know how I know when sometimes I just go day after day after day without shaving. I have like this one hair that will grow between my eyebrows. And sometimes when I look in the mirror and I realize that the hair is grown out, I'm just like, oh my God, I need to shave. But yeah, so I shaved here today, but I did not use the beard trimmer today, but I need to. So probably tomorrow I'll do it. Yeah.
Do you straight raise the neck?
Yeah, I straight razor. In fact, today I didn't even like use the trimmer. I just shaved the neck because I forgot, and I put the shaving cream on and it was too late. But yeah, I think probably tomorrow I'll use it. I love the beard trimmer. It's so smooth and comfortable.
It is
nice. And I think I mentioned it, but you do want to set it a little bit higher. So I always keep it at 2.5, but for this beard trimmer, I've been doing like 3.5. It's like closed, right? It's a little big. So because I put it on 2.5 and it cut too close. So
that's good though, because a lot of beard trimmers don't get like the smaller beards, right? Some people like that really just a tiny bit, almost like the not 5 o'clock shadow, obviously, but a little bit more than that. Stubble, that's the word. A lot of beard trimmers won't do that, right? And then in this case, it's nice.
I might try it. Maybe for the next episode, I might try it. I'm sure Michelle will get a kick out of it because I haven't been beardless in a long time.
Ooh,
maybe I'll put it on the minimum one and just see how close it gets.
All right.
and just see what happens.
It always grows bad. That's the beauty of
but
it.
I love it. It's probably my favorite Manscaped product. I mean, the main Manscaped product, the lawnmower, is like a necessity now. But I don't use it every week or whatever. I use it probably every couple months. Yeah. So
once a month.
I don't know.
You got to pair it with when you get your hair cut. That's what I like to do. Every time you get a haircut, you.
Yeah, but I don't get haircuts. I give myself haircuts. I don't.
Yeah. Well.
But yeah, no. I mean, that's an essential product, but it's not part of my daily or weekly routine. It's part of my monthly.
Fair point.
But yeah, the beard trimmer is like life changing. Loved it. I love it.
Well, now, time to cause some mayhem.
A February Apple review contest going on. I am looking at the calendar, Drew. It is February 26th. That means when you're listening to this, probably it is the last day. If you have not submitted a new review or an updated review, just do it right now.
Great. Stop what you're doing.
2 minutes. 2 minutes, and you will have a chance. So how many entries do we have right now?
For 15 entries.
15. And how many winners?
2.
Are there? 2.
You know, I gotta say, I gotta stop because I have to apologize. On the special last episode, when I did my little solo mayhem introduction, I kind of made a ridiculous stat, and I gotta correct myself. At the time, we had about 12 reviews, and I said that means you have a 1 in 6 chance of winning.
Yeah.
Quick math, it made sense. It's not, though. It's probability and statistics, and that shit gets complicated because it's like you have... It's not that simple.
Yeah,
and I thought about it and I said, shit, that doesn't make sense. It's not 1 in 6 because the other 6 people don't get thrown away.
Exactly.
It's a complex. I don't know what the fuck statistic it is, but it's not 1 in 6. But it's good odds. There's only 15 people and 2 of them are winning.
I mean, you have a 2 in 12 chance, right? I don't know.
I don't know.
We're not here for statistics.
It doesn't matter. It's just you have a good chance.
We got 2 lotto balls out of 15 right now to win $20 eShop cards each. Just do a review. Maybe you lose, but guess what? 1, you're going to be eligible, right? You're going to be eligible to win a prize. 2, you're helping us out. Yeah. My kids are inside right now crying on the floor because daddy won't play with them. And I told them I have a podcast to do because I have people that really like to listen to us. And they're crying on the floor. Not really. They're crying on the floor.
Did you tell them to write a review and they could win $20 for Apex Legend butts? Is that
that could pay for like 5% of my son's controller.
Yeah. I think they need to go write a review for you. They can win. They're eligible.
Earlier today, not to distract, but I sent the link to send a voicemail to our to our podcast to my family and said, "Hey, does anyone want to ask a question? We'll put you on the show and we'll answer it for you." Nobody did.
Nope. Did they even reply to your text?
No. And my wife, Michelle, she's like, "Oh," she goes, "Yeah, you send the link. I was going to send it a message, but I didn't know what to ask." I was like, "Gee, thanks."
She could have asked me a question. She could have talked to me about Kirby.
Exactly. She could have had a million questions. We got a lot of questions, but anyway. So do that right now. We're only accepting February reviews, so do that right now. And then we have merch. Go to bit.ly/dads-merch-shop. We have 4 different designs, including what? We got Halloween, we got Christmas, we got our logo, we got our alternate logo.
You know, I gotta ask, are people interested in other types of merch? Like, what I mean by that, like, what if there was a t-shirt that said, "I've won monthly mayhem," or something like that, right? Like I went through the gauntlet, in Dad's After Dark. Like, would you guys be interested in that? Was it worth our effort, or is no one gonna? And speaking of that, those bastards never paid us yet, John. They still owe us money. Redbubble.
Oh, Redbubble. I think we just got to sell more.
That's probably what.
Just got to keep selling more.
Sell more.
Yeah. So check that out. Good products. I still haven't used my tote bag yet because I use Amazon Fresh.
You fucked yourself.
I did. I can't go to Whole Foods and show it off. All right. we've got a monthly mayhem, and we have some results to announce. And I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Retired.
Golden.
Drew.
Such a good clip. You should watch the clip. Can we post the clip in Discord so people don't think that we're, condescending assholes?
Yeah, we probably should.
Monthly mayhem. What a fun, spur of the moment 1 week. I don't think we've ever done a 7-day long monthly mayhem, John. But
it was fun.
It was a lot of fun. We were nervous about how we were going to do GoldenEye. We thought about doing death matches, like a head-to-head type thing, and just right down to the winner's bracket. We just thought that's not as great either. Let's just make it more open up to everybody and just do like a time trial type thing. And what better way to do it with the dam? And then we had this idea of let's do with kills. We'll subtract your time. And at first we were like 2 seconds of kills. And then I think John said, well, that's not really enough time to make a kill worth its while.
Not sexy enough. Yeah,
it's not. But 5 seconds was that perfect medium. And we even said, do you think anybody can get to like 0 and negative seconds? And we were like, I don't know. That's hard. I was watching speed runs on this thing just to see what's the best path to go. And let me tell you, it was funny because the strategy early on in the week was go as fast as you can and kill just a few people on the way. And as the week went on, there were strategies of kill as many people as you can, and it doesn't matter about the time. And then at the end, there was like that happy medium was like, you have to kill at least 30 people and still get a really fast time. And let me tell you, the times were as ridiculous as ever. The competition was there. I have some bones to pick with this last minute submissions, right? Because I love the competition. Remember I talked about last mayhem, how I'm the fluffer. That's my job. And that's what I did.
Still can't forget it. Yep.
You can't. You'll never forget it. I got my entry out there early. I got a timestamp in there, and that's what I do. And that's what I love. I love the competition of it. So just remember, submit. It makes it so much more fun. Anyways, 11 people submitted. John, I'll see your name on that list.
I couldn't beat the level. You're supposed to do both objectives, and it's like, whoop, that's not happening.
Respect that. So we're going to run down the list to just say, I got to throw out a couple here. Bob Cousy, man, Coos is just what's the word for Coos?
A piece of shit. Oh, no, what? Great.
Great. He's a great man. He's a great man. Great man. Coos, what happened here, buddy? Over 1 hour long. I think you use slappers only.
No, we need an exact number. 3,970 seconds.
That's his submission.
That's great. And he did it, right?
I think he probably had to put the controller down to take a shit. And then just then it came back to like, oh shit, I didn't finish. And then
keep in mind he submitted a 1 in Ding Dong last time too.
Hey, you know what though? I respect it because it has the same chance as 9 other people to win the random lotto.
I hope he wins. I hope he wins it. Yeah.
Especially this one, we didn't do any brackets or tiers based on what place you finish in. You have one winner, everyone else has equal chance of winning.
Yep.
So Nintendo Dad's Tim submitted, thank you. Triss HL, Hambone, Darth Platypus. We'll see more about him later in some questions. Sean Abbott, Game Pass News. One of the ones, this was also a very rare mayhem, and we allowed Etsbots to join in the fun and submit to their GoldenEye.
It feels dirty.
Hey, look at that. I came in 5th place. John, 75 seconds. Matt's Power. Texas Trey, he was in there battling. 25 seconds. Those numbers are unheard of. When we first started, in the 60 to 75 seconds was the wheelhouse, right? And then just under a minute, that's where we stood a lot. So 25, if someone said 25 seconds to me earlier in the week, I would have been like, that's definitely winning. That's blowing people away.
Right.
But then there's the 2. DeLeon and the Informant, the defendant champion, the all-time Hall of Famer of Monthly Mayhem. And these 2 guys battled it out pretty much the last minute today?
Last hour, especially.
Yeah, last hour especially. DeLeon came in with 0 seconds flat, which is astonishing. Well done there. However, the Informant, the man, the myth, the legend, negative 19 seconds, John. Negative time.
Negative 19 seconds.
Negative. So, Informer, congratulations again. You're the winner this month. Well, it was a week. Monthly Mayhem. You, sir, are awarded $20 eShop credit. And now for the fun part. John, do you have the random generator?
I'm going to bring it up. How many people do we have? We have 10 people.
10.
Okay. Random number generator. Minimum 1.
Can you start at 2? Can you start at 2 through 11?
Yeah, I'll start at 2. Max is 11.
Let's do that.
I'm going to hit the button 9 times. The 10th time is the one that counts.
Let's go here.
Got a fluff. All right. I'm going to hit the number, and the winner is number 5.
Oh, that's
you.
Nope. That is me. Let's hit this 10 more
Hit it
times.
again?
I will not accept this award.
I'm going to hit it one more time.
Okay.
Ready? The number is 10.
Tim! The 10
Timmy!
of that Tim. Can Tim win? Tim can win, right?
He can win. Yeah.
He can absolutely win.
Everybody's eligible.
Everybody's eligible. Congrats, Tim.
All right.
You win $10. You deserve. I don't think Tim's ever won.
I don't think so either.
Good for Tim.
We got to
It
look.
goes to show Tim came in 10th place out of 11. Doesn't mean anything. That's the beauty of this competition. Well done, Tim.
Honestly,
$10.
Tim being terrible at GoldenEye really paid off. Let's just be honest.
Hey, as long as he had fun playing it, that's all that matters. Well, thank you,
Love it.
everyone. This was a great little surprise mayhem that we weren't going to do. Stay tuned. We'll have another one soon. I'd say within a week or two. Definitely. We already have some ideas, so
Well, in 2 weeks, yeah.
be ready for it.
We talked about it, Drew.
I know we talked about
2
it, John. I'm not
weeks?
telling the people what we talked about, though.
We've got something special in 2 weeks.
Teasing them, just like your joke.
I'm going to edit this conversation out, Drew.
Okay.
I'm going to edit out the way we really talk to each other.
Okay. Well,
All
that wraps up our monthly mayhem section there, John.
All right. That went well.
It's time to talk about what we've been playing.
What we've been playing. Drew, I've been playing a lot.
8 games to be exact, John. You have 8 fucking games on your list.
You
8.
know, I actually sometimes plan playing new games after our episode. So I feel like I'm going to play this game for the 2 weeks and then talk about it on the show. I always end up in this situation where I have a bunch, but the problem was I finished up a bunch of games in between shows. But these first 4 are going to be quick updates. Let me talk about them. First off, I was playing Fire Emblem Engage a second time. I loved my first run. And then we got the Camilla DLC. And Camilla is one of my favorite characters. She is my ultimate waifu. And so I was like, I want to play it again. And I want to play with Camilla. So I did a run with a male character, the male version of Alir. And I played every battle. I bought the DLC, first of all, $30. And I talked about this a little bit on the last episode, but I played every battle. I did all of the paralogs in the game. I think there's 13 paralogs. And I played all of the divine paralogs. That's all the DLC characters. And I got to marry in the game because I did all that. And so I got to marry Yunaka. She became my in-game wife. So that was awesome. I absolutely loved it. Again, I mean, I thought I would just fade at some point.
Me too.
Absolutely. What a game. And the replayability of Engage is that you can choose different characters to main because you have basically a core army of like 10 characters. Most of the matches you either use 6, 8, 10, 12, I think maybe 14 a couple times. But you have this core army, your go-to guys that are all beefed up. And yeah, you can, when you play a second time, I could play a third time, maybe even a fourth time and have different core characters. Just had so much fun. I did not expect to get all the way through. I enjoyed every minute of it. And I ended up at almost the exact same gameplay time. Even though I played more levels, I ended up at like 46 hours and 20 minutes. My first run was like 46 hours and 1 minute. So I was much more efficient.
You've put 92 hours into Fire Emblem since it came out?
92 hours and 23 minutes.
When did it come out?
January 20th.
And you've played 7 other games that you're going to talk about next. God bless
I
you.
will admit
God bless you.
it is an easy game to play. Yeah, January 20th. It's an easy game to play while you work. I usually keep my Switch near my desk. I put it down. If I do a meeting, maybe I'm doing a stand-up call, I do my stand-up, and then I just grab my Switch and I sit there and I'm playing it while, whatever. So it's easy to get through. And it's such a great game to play while you're watching Netflix or something at night. Oh, man. Oh, it's so good. I just love it. I'll probably play it a third time way down the road. But I'm just going to hold on to it until the DLC wave 3 and then 4 come out. So it's going to wait. But my second playthrough is now my main save file because I've done everything. I might actually go back and do some of the tower stuff too. But anyway, that's one update. Second update. This is one of the greatest software patches that I've ever seen, Drew. Are you ready?
Wait, are we still letting them off fire?
No, we're talking about a little to the left.
See what I did there?
Yeah. A little to the left I've told you I'm doing the daily tidy every day, and you had to do 360 daily tidies to get all the badges. So every day at some point, if I'm playing a game, I save it and I do my little to the left. I do them, they're pretty quick. And I hate the one with the freaking snowflakes, but pretty quick, whatever. So this one day I wake up to it and I get a badge. I was like, what? I didn't do anything. And I look, they updated the game. So you only need 100 daily tidies to get all the badges. They lowered it down.
Why?
I think they get analytics. I think they get analytics on it, or maybe they've gotten some complaints that it's so repetitive. There's only about like 6 or 7 different puzzles, and they have different pictures and images. Like they cycle them, but it's the same things over and over. It's super boring. And I'm just
slide puzzle with a different image. So it's still a slide puzzle.
Exactly. And so what I was going to do is when I got to 100, I was then going to start spamming my clock and just try to get through it quicker. Cause I'm not going to do this all year, but yeah, it's now 100 and I have 15 more to go. So by the time you hear our next episode, I will have finished a little to the left.
Maybe. It'd be tight.
Without spamming my clock. I'm sure other people have finished just by, you can change the time on your system, but I haven't done that. So greatest software update ever. Another update, Dead Cells. I've been replaying that game from the beginning, enjoying it, loving it. I actually finished a run. I actually got through a run. Not the first time ever. I did it a couple times before, but this is on my new save file. I finally completed a run. I really wanted to get at least one run done before I explored DLC. What a great game. There is, and I've been sending you pictures. They have like indie game content in here. So I unlocked the Ironclad outfit from Slay the Spire. I was so excited. You can unlock Hollow Knight's costume as well. It's actually quite easy to do, but I didn't realize that you could do it. So next time I get his weapon, you can do it to unlock. Yeah, I mean, it's just, there's every time you do a run, there's some new shit you see.
No, you make me want to play by talking about it, but I stand by the comment I say every fucking week that they need to just make Dead Cells 2.
I agree. And I hope Return to Castlevania is the last DLC, kind of go out with a bang. I can't wait for it, but yeah, there's always something to unlock. Every time I get a little bored, I'm like, what am I going to unlock next time? I don't even know how much of this was in the game when I played it. There's a backpack you can unlock, which I did, that lets you put an extra weapon in there. So at any point, like sometimes you get a weapon, you're like, that's interesting, but I don't know what I want. You can just throw it in your backpack and you can try it and switch them out. So that's really cool. I'm trying to get a 4th health pack now. It's so much fun. So I did that. And then an update on Ghost of Tsushima. I didn't go into full depth with it last time, and I don't really want to go into full depth because this is more of a Nintendo show. But Ghost of Tsushima, lots of people love this game. I finished it. I 100%ed the game. It lives up to the billing. It is as good as you've heard. It is as good as it was a fantastic experience. I think it was about 40 hours or so to kind of 100% it. It's an open world to an extent. There's 3 main areas, and you can't get to the second area until you finish the main quests of the first area. but then in each area, it's open world. You can go do whatever you want. You can do the side stories, anything. So amazingly fun, great samurai combat, and it's hard not to compare it to Sekiro, the From Software game that I really loved, but then had to quit because it was way too hard. Ghost of Tsushima, it does a lot of parrying and samurai stuff, but it's way more forgiving. Parrying is way more forgiving. You could take a few shots and you'll be fine. Whereas Sekiro, man, some of those bosses, one hit, you're dead. Like, I couldn't stand it. It is great. If you have a Sony PlayStation, because it's an exclusive, it's by Sucker Punch. It is on PS Plus Extra. If you have that service, you can play it for free. You can even play the DLC for free on PS Plus Extra. It is everything that you've heard. It is amazing. It has a great story, fun combat. The side stories are interesting and compelling. And then there's a DLC called, I forget what it's called, but you go to this place called Iki Island. And I didn't play that yet. I'm just going to let it sit for a day. And one day I'm going to be like, I'm just want to jump back in this world and play this DLC. So great. I love it. Ghost of Tsushima. Fantastic game. I love it. One of the most beautiful looking games I've ever seen. Just think about in Japan with the cherry blossoms and the leaves coming down into the water. They hit the water and stay there and float around. Just the most beautiful settings. Absolutely fantastic. So those are my 4 updates. Package them together. What do you got, Drew?
I don't have an update myself. Minish Cap. I played through and I beat it. I don't think I've ever played this game. You know what? I may have played it
really
once.
Good.
Didn't they have it on the 3DS Ambassador program or?
Maybe, yeah. I think you might be right.
Or maybe they had it on the Wii. And I don't know. Anyways, I don't think I ever played it. I might have played like one, like an hour of it. But this was fun. Really unique take. On the shrinking down and being able to kind of explore as mini Link. Lots of fun. What I really liked about this game as well is it was definitely one of those Zelda games that's kind of on the outer ideas, kind of like Link's Awakening, where the items you get are very unique, right? You get the gloves to dig. You get what was something else? You get the jar that kind of farts. It says what it does. It sucks
I did play through it. I don't remember hardly anything except for your hat.
It has around. You can get a timer for the bombs, so they go off when you push the button the second time, so you can do unique stuff with it. Ooh. Yeah, there's a lot of cool. You get the lantern. There's unique items that are in every Zelda game, which I thought was a lot of fun. I know Jesse had some issues with the final boss. I beat him. I don't think I died. I had a couple fairies and stuff, so I survived. But I did see his activation. This game came out in November of 2004. Four Swords came out in March of 2004. So Four Swords came out first for the GameCube. This game obviously took ideas from Four Swords into this, and it felt weird and forced, right? I think it was that you have to clone your links, and every time you get a new, I don't know, whatever they call them, when you beat a dungeon, you got an orb. I don't know what it was called. Relic, whatever it was. You got an additional, you could go charge your Master Sword and you an additional link that you could clone into in certain areas of the map. It was weird that they forced this in. It's super underutilized, but then also an annoyance. And then in the last battle, you had to use it to fight the final boss, and it was just weird concept. I don't think it fit in this game at all. They should not have put that part into it.
Right.
Besides that, I had a lot of fun with the game.
Did you use Rewind at all?
I did not. No.
Okay.
I often forget about Rewind. I mean, I did. Yeah. I did do save states only because when you're turning your Switch on and off and playing other games, so I use it as the family Switch. It's just easier to do that than maybe have to save it and load it back somewhere else.
Right, because you might not get to where you were exactly.
You might lose 15 or 20 minutes, right? And,
yeah.
So no, I use save states, but I did not actually rewind anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Michelle actually finished Minish Cap today.
Did she enjoy it?
Yeah. She did.
Ask her about the final boss. Curious what her thoughts are as well.
Actually, I will. Yeah. I'm
just ask her about the whole concept of cloning yourself. I just thought it was a weird fit in the game. I don't know. I think the gimmick of Minish Cap is that you shrink down. right? And you grow.
Yep.
I don't think they needed to add another gimmick of
Sorry.
another gimmick of cloning your Link to be able to push a block because now you have 4 links instead of 1, or be able to hit 4 switches because now you have 4 links in separate areas of the map. Like, and there was parts of the final dungeon you had to do that, and like puzzles that you had to separate. It was too Forward Swords-ish, and it didn't fit. Simple.
Interesting.
So, that's my update.
On 4 Swords on GameCube, did you play that with 4 controllers, or didn't you use a Game Boy Advance? Because I never played 4 Swords.
You had to use a Game Boy Advance and the adapter to play more than one player because you needed your own screen. It was so weird. Right. Yeah, because like when you entered a cave, you were supposed to look down at your Game Boy Advance.
I want nothing more than to play through 4 Swords.
You don't. It's not great.
And
I tried it last year. I tried it last year, remember?
But like I've never played it, and I feel like I'm missing something.
Well, I don't know if you know this. It's not a traditional open world Zelda game. It's more like Super Mario World, where you play levels on a map.
We have talked about
start and finish on each level.
We have talked about getting together this year.
Yes.
Can we all play this game?
I don't have a Game Boy Advance.
We'll figure it out. I've got multiple Game Boy Advances, and I got at least 2 cables.
I think. Let me see.
I would
want to beat 4 Swords.
Can we just do like an all-nighter and just like,
Ooh, maybe not. It says it's 17 hours.
17?
Oh, that's still at 100%. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Main story 3 hours.
3?
Main plus side 6 hours.
All right. Slumber Party. 15. Slumber Party.
Just power through. We don't need to do all the shit. Even if we took us 5 hours.
Oh my god, it'd be amazing. We could do this. All right. I feel like it's this gap. I've never played it.
I have the game on GameCube. I'll be happy to provide the game if needed.
I have it.
Okay.
All right. I want to talk about Blanc. Blanc came out on Valentine's Day. I did a 90-second review of it, so if you go to our YouTube channel, you can catch that. It did not go well.
It didn't.
Look, I'm a fair critique of the game. I was excited for Blanc because I clearly bought it the first hour it was available. I was waiting for it.
Let's be honest. You took the day off. You waited all day for it to come out and download. You were more than a little excited.
I was, exactly. Yeah, I think it was like later in the day. Took the day off, played it with Michelle. Let me tell you something. Blanc was a disappointment, and here's why. 2-player game. First of all, 2-player game. You play as a baby wolf cub and a baby deer, also known as a doe. You are basically lost in a big snowstorm, and your packs have left you. We don't know why. And you end up working together. It's like a co-op game. You either play online or local. We played local, obviously. And you're trying to find your packs. It is not a long game. This game is like 2 hours, probably a little bit less than 2 hours. And it's what you expect, right? The deer helps out the wolf helps out the deer. You do things together, and you get through it. It's a pretty looking game. It's all like black and white essentially, so it's artistic, and all that. Okay, here's the problem that Blanc had. First of all, that shit chugs on the Switch. It chugs. It is not a great frame rate, and it gets really slow at times.
It's not that graphically heavy, is it?
I mean, it's always hard to say because it's a pretty looking game, but
sure.
It should perform better. And I don't want to like just slam a game because the performance is bad. That's not the only reason I am. It would have been. It was hard to appreciate the beauty of the game when you sort of turn and the game goes bop 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 bop. It's like it takes you out of the experience. So, but that's the least of my concerns or whatever.
Okay.
The co-op stuff is just not there. I can tell you this: the doe has this ability to duck down and let the cub climb up to get to a higher spot because the doe can jump higher than the cub.
So what were you?
I was the wolf cub, and the wolf cub can pull on essentially ropes. The doe can't do that for some reason. That's really it. There needed to be more things that each character could do that the other couldn't do. I felt like the doe was way more OP than the wolf cub can jump higher. It's just all of that stuff. And so there wasn't enough variety in how you help out. The other thing is some of the, I'm going to say escort missions or whatever. This
Sounds
first,
dirty.
and Marty talked about this on the show. There's an escort mission where there's this mommy duck, I assume, and some baby ducks. And the baby ducks keep getting lost from the mom, and you got to help them out. And there's this one part where there's this hedge, and they're walking, and you sort of see this, like the wind is blowing hard, but like you sort of can block the wind a little bit, and you guide each little duck through. It is so freaking frustrating because you know what to do, but then the duck still flies away, and you're like, what the hell? I was there. It's so frustrating. And it's just constant. Like, every experience could be really fun, and then it's just not. And we were both we played for an hour, we took a break, and we didn't come back to it till the next day. It just wasn't the experience that I was hoping for. It was a little disappointing. It was fun to play together, but I would have rather played most other couch op games. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's great you can play couch op, but neither of us were really having a bunch of fun. And there's so many parts of the game where you are literally just walking to the next area. So even though the game is barely 2 hours, I would say at least half the game was just walking from point A to point B, not really doing anything. And none of the puzzles were particularly complicated. I mean, it was all pretty easy. So a bit of a disappointment. What can you do? I wouldn't recommend this game, but at the same end, it wasn't like this terrible game that's like, oh, you're going to have a miserable time. It's just not what you really wanted it to be. And so it was a little disappointing. I think he gave it a 4.5, maybe a little bit cruel. Look, I grade on a scale of 0 to 10. I don't do the IGN thing where everybody gets a 7. So it sounds cruel, but it's just no, it's in the bottom half of games.
No. I hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, that's it. So, what do you got?
Well, you played a game from a Indie Direct. So what did I do? I went and played a game from a Nintendo Direct. I picked up Dust and Neon. If you remember, this is a twin stick shooter, which kind of has this robot looking type guy with a cowboy hat on. So it had that Western theme. It's not like a bullet hell game like that. It's not more that. It's more of a twin stick, more of a slower approach twin stick shooter. Not super slow, but you definitely kind of want to hide behind a crate and kind of wait for the guys to come to you, or kind of wait for them to stand up and then reach around the corner and shoot. It's a solid okay. It's a 7, 6.5, 7. And there's a few reasons why. So let me tell a little bit more about the game. The game's $30, which I thought was very high for this game. So right off the bat, I would not pay $30 for this. I'd wait for a sale. I think it's a pretty cool art style. But I also feel cool art style, cool theming. Again, you're fighting robots that are taking over the world or something, and you're work for this scientist guy who mutated a rat into you. I don't really know. The story's not there. The story doesn't matter. It's one of those types of games. But the world itself, to me, felt very empty. It was a lot of the same things, kind of over and over again. The game is a roguelite, which. I don't know. It's at first I really liked the idea of it. So there's 4 worlds. There's 4 areas in the map. The other 3 are start locked. There's only 1, and you have to beat the boss of each world to open up the next world. By getting there, you have to level up, and by doing that, you can play 3 different or 4 different styles of missions. There's kill all the enemies in a level. There's what they call a train heist, which there's this moving trains, and you're walking on the train, and you have to find the safe at the end and steal the money and leave. There's one called sabotage, where you have to find this machine, and there's 2 of them on the map, and you have to blow them up. There's one where you have to go kill all the marked targets, 3 little type of mini bosses. So there's a few different missions, and you can select any missions you want, and they regenerate every time you go back to the world map. And then each mission has an easy, medium, or hard, and it's random which difficulty you're going to get. So you can kind of see before you pick it, but you don't know when you go in. So you just play these missions any order you want. And this is where it failed in the game, in my point. The only way to unlock the boss for each world is to hit a certain rank. So a certain level. You have to level up a certain rank, right? You start at 1, you go to 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And you have to hit like level 5 before the boss of World 1 opens. Which, like, it doesn't matter how good you are at the game. So once you do that, and I beat it, I'm like, awesome, I unlocked World 2. I can't just play through a couple levels and fight the boss. No, I have to now be rank 10. And it might take me to play 10 missions in order to get to rank 10. It's just like you're just doing it. So the whole idea is that you have 3 types of guns. You have a revolver, a shotgun, and a rifle. And they upgrade throughout the game. So, right, you find them in all different spots. So those, when you die, you lose your guns. You lose some of. I don't really understand. You lose some of your money, and there's another currency as well that you can have, like these canisters. The road part that you can like level up is you have a skill tree. Obviously, every time you rank up, you have a skill tree. You can more health, more powerful guns, etc. And then they have like the upgrade section where you can upgrade, like you can buy back the guns that you had that you lost, or you can do other things for cheaper. So it's just, the whole concept seems kind of gimmicky, where you just want to get the best guns, and then even if you die, you can just buy them back with your money. So like you don't have to go searching for them again. And then you can just go straight to a boss if you're high enough ranked. It just seems crazy to me. Like, I had great runs going, and then it kind of stalls because you can't fight the boss yet. And like, I unlocked the next world, and it's like, you have to be ranked 30. And I'm like, I'm ranked 22. And I have all good items. And now I have to just go grind in these random missions. Even though I have like a ton of money, I have all good stuff. I just have to now grind my level in order to fight the boss. You can go back and fight the other bosses. You get like, more shit that I don't need. So the gameplay is fun, but I think it gets to a point it feels a little repetitive. They also did this one thing that's really stupid. Like when you're in a game and you pick up, like, there's a new gun, and you go to pick it up, and they do a good job, like you can hit X and it compares the one you have versus that one.
Yep.
But like, I'm looking at that screen, but I fucking hate this. They still allow enemies to be shooting at you. So like, I'm looking at the stats, and I'm like, my screen's like blinking red. Like,
red.
You hit B, and then you're like trying to shoot the guy, and it's like, what? Like, it should almost be like a pause screen. Like it shouldn't be open combat still.
Can you kill everyone around and then do it?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. But sometimes like there might be a guy, wandering off the side. You didn't see him, and now all of a sudden he comes over.
Yeah, because Dead Cells does that. You see a weapon, you go to pick it up, they let you look and, figure out, because then you want to use it right away. Like, why?
Exactly.
It's kind of gimmicky.
So overall, I think the game's it's fine. It's not bad. It's definitely it's pretty polished. I think the controls felt pretty good. You definitely feel super slow in the beginning. There's some upgrades that make you can move a little bit faster, which is weird. But it just it feels a little repetitive at the end of the day. If it was, I would say, under $20, maybe even 15, under 15, I think it would be a better value. I'm not quite done yet. I'm at the last world. I have to like level up 2 more levels, and then I can fight the boss. But I don't know if there's like a 5th hidden world or a 5th final boss of some sort. But the leveling up just to fight the boss is annoying. Like, what game do you have to be a certain level to fight the boss? You should be able to fight the boss at any level you want, but you might not be strong enough to fight him or kill him.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I've seen it done so many different ways. It's tough. Because even in a game like Dead Cells, you beat the boss, then you get a boss cell, which lets you do the next difficulty. So it's just like Ascension. Yeah. But like, you can go all the way to the end. There's none of this like sort of, you can't do this or can't do that. You can do everything at that difficulty level, and then you're rewarded with the next one. But like, every game does these sort of things different. It's
just a tap, because you technically could probably beat the game in like 2 hours if it wasn't. Don't get me wrong, if you don't have strong guns or you're not good at it, but if you were good at it, you would be able to. But it kind of prevents you from moving forward.
Metacritic has it at a 66 out of 100, which is almost exactly what you're rating
Six
it.
and a half, 7. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say it's fair. It's not a terrible game, but I don't think it's worth $30. I truly don't.
Yeah. They showed it during the indie, indie week before Christmas.
Did they also show it recently?
Oh, they might have, but I remember they showed it before Christmas because we talked about all the
Yep. So Dust and Neon, that's the name of it. Again, you're like this mutated rat-looking big cowboy guy, and you fight robots. Twin stick shooter.
And then you're saying solid okay, so you'd say probably would you say like if you want to try it, wait for a sale.
I would say definitely wait for a sale. I don't think it's going out there worth spending $30, which is a steep. If it was like $15 or $20, I'd say, yeah, go give it a try if you like these types of games. I talked about that game a while back. What the hell was it called? That Fury Cat one or whatever it was. Twin stick shooter one. I don't forget the name of it. More of a bullet hell style game. Kind of gave me that vibe a little bit without that. It's not as much of like defense in this game, or there's really not too much strategy. You kind of find your niche and just hide behind stuff, and then you can jump out and shoot.
Roguelites are so good. They all kind of suffer from potentially the same problem where you just, after a while, it's like every run feels like it's less worth it or whatever.
The last thing I'll say too about it is I just felt like in these types of games, you get rewarded for like exploring and kind of looking around the maps and doing stuff. And I didn't feel that like that in this game. The only reward is maybe you'll find a gun that's better than the gun you have, but maybe it's a lot of like the buildings and saloons and stuff that you go into are just ammo and money. And if you don't need any more of that, it's like, what's the point of exploring? It's that chance of finding a gun.
Yeah. So you have to because you might miss an opportunity.
Yeah, but I realized like after exploring, you're not missing much. So that's it. Dust and Neon.
I was going to buy Octopath Traveler 2 on Friday. I was really hyped up for it, but I realized that morning I had a pre-order and with the Steelbook, I realized I still wanted to keep playing Fire Emblem Engage. I wasn't quite done with it yet, and I thought it would take me a few more days. Well, I beat Fire Emblem Engage that day. I just kept playing it. And so I canceled my pre-order for Octopath because of that and the fact that Return to Castlevania comes out March 6th. Octopath is going to be 60, 70, 80-hour game. I was like, you know what? Now's not the time to get that invested in it. I really do want to play it.
Agreed. I played the demo. Remember I told you about that. I played the demo.
And but I finished Fire Emblem Engage that day, and I decided not to get Octopath anyway, and I decided to play Live Alive.
I'm so jealous.
A couple of reasons. Obviously, it's HD 2D, so it's the same engine, same company. I owned it. I just haven't played it. It was still sealed. So it's like, I already own this game. Let me play this one. And I know it's much shorter, and I can finish it by March 6th. I know a lot of people really love this game. And I'm still fairly new into it, so I won't get fully into it. But I have played through 3 chapters. And you can play, there's 7 chapters you can play in any order. I have played the Wild West chapter I started off with, which I thought was a really good first chapter. Because what you learn, Drew, and I know one day you'll play this one, is it's an RPG, and it's kind of the game that inspired Octopath Traveler with its 8 storylines. But like, very interesting. It's not just your standard JRPG. There's every story has some like weird mechanic or, weird way to tell a story. And so the Wild West story was, yada, yada, yada. And now you have, 8 hours essentially to protect this town from a bunch of bandits that are coming. And you have to go and scour the town for items that you make traps with.
Oh, cool.
And you set up the traps and it leads to a fight. And it turns out the traps can like eliminate bandits and make your final fight easier. I fucked it up. I just was collecting items. And then at the very end, I went to build the traps. But what you're supposed to do is get the items to the people as quick as possible because it takes them time to make the traps. And so my final fight was so freaking hard. And I sat there in my chair for like 90 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
Repeatedly doing this final battle because I was fighting too many guys. I was about to repeat the chapter. And but I finally actually did it by some more luck than anything. I got through it, and so that was fun. Then the second chapter I did was really just I forget what it is. It's the present day, and it's sort of like a Street Fighter thing, and you have to fight these guys, and you learn their moves, and then you can use them on successive people, and then there's a final battle, and then you're done. So it was like an RPG, but there's no story there. I mean, there was a little story, but
Yeah,
you don't
this
go
game
from
already
screen to
sounds cool.
screen.
So let me ask you really quick: when you go from story to story, is it almost like independence, like playing a whole new game?
You get ending credits for each one.
Okay,
It's
that's
hilarious.
awesome. Yeah, that's cool because it makes
Um,
it makes it's easier to play that sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not,
The present day chapter, I'm not no joke, took me like 20 minutes.
okay.
The Wild West would have been pretty quick itself if I didn't misunderstand the rules.
Yeah.
And the final battle took me. So I think that one took me like at least 2 hours. But you could do it much quicker if you just, when you play that one, just set the traps early.
Yeah.
The third chapter I did was Near Future. And this chapter I did not like. This is the most RPG chapter so far. And there's like a city area you go through, and then there's like multiple locations you go through, and there's a big story going on. It felt like a little mini RPG. But in the notes I wrote, felt like sports story. Like, absolutely, like, I have no idea what you want me to do. Go talk to this person. Okay, go over there. All right, go find this building. Go over there. And it's just like, what is going on here? I was losing track of the story, and there was a bunch of characters with Japanese names, and I was kind of like getting confused over who was who. And I started to really lose interest, and I was kind of playing the game while I did other things. And I finally got through it, and I was like, that was not enjoyable.
So how long was that one?
That one was like 3 hours.
Okay.
I don't know. It felt like 3 hours. I didn't like chapter. That's fine. They're not all going to be winners.
Yeah.
But that's where I am right now.
So
The next
what's your
one I'm going to
decision
do
on
is,
which one to do? Just whatever you feel like it.
honestly, the Wild West chapter seemed like a really good first one to do. I know there's one chapter that a lot of people got stuck in, so I was hoping to avoid that. In fact, I asked Hambone, what's a good first chapter? Because I don't want to get stuck in the first chapter and then just drop
and then
this
not
game.
like the game, and then yeah, I hear you.
Exactly. So the next chapter I'm going to do is Prehistoric Times, which I think is the one that has no dialogue.
That one looks fun. Yeah, I saw
but they're
that
all
one.
just sort of interesting or whatever. So yeah, even though this third one I didn't like it. That's fine. I'm excited to see what the next 4 are.
See, this game sounds for me, and not to hijack, because when I played the demo for Octopath 2, I mean, I was intrigued by all the different characters, right? It's the same concept, right? You can play any story you want. And the character I chose was about a guy that got charged for a murder of his wife and kid, even though he says he didn't do it. And he's in jail. And he's in like this type of like Azkaban type jail in the middle of the mountains. And he wants to escape.
Yeah.
Right. So the whole idea is you need to do these 3 major objectives to escape. Right. And it was, but it was so much dialogue. And you know me, that's just not my style of game. And it was like, you have to talk to people to get clues on what you need. Like, I'm just like, it sounds awesome. I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm intrigued. I kind of want to know what happens, but I don't want to play it to find out because it's not my style of game.
And then you're going to do that 7 more times.
Exactly.
And then each character is going to have another storyline you got to continue on. The first game was pretty grindy with that. 32 separate little storylines. And it was like, it was telegraphed. You knew I had to do 8 of these, and then I had to do another 8 of these. And, it is chatty too. It is chatty. Live Alive is not super chatty, so that's good. Now, it hasn't been super chatty. They have voice dialogue, which the original game didn't have. The one thing I'll say is if you haven't played Live Alive, go in the settings even before you play and do the text speed to fast. Because what happens is by default, the text speed is going and it's slower, and the voice dialogue is faster. So you hear the voice dialogue finish while you're still looking at the text, and it's very disconcerting. So you should make the text go faster.
So, but question on that, because this happened to me in Octopath demo. When you have a voice acting like that, and you have the reading bubbles, like if I'm reading it and I read it faster than they're done talking, do you hit A?
When I play voice acted games, I wait till they're done.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like,
I know I don't like to cut off the voice acting. Sometimes if it gets too chatty or whatever, I'll wait till they hit the end of a sentence. I don't want to just cut them off mid-word. I find it disconcerting.
I find it distracting, and I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is, but I find it distracting, and maybe it's for a game that's like, I'm not into that. So I don't want to just be reading and listening for 20 minutes. I want to get back to the action.
Some people change the voice to like Japanese, so it's like more like to them gobbledygook. They don't understand the words.
Almost
I
like an
didn't see.
Animal Crossing type thing. Yeah.
I'm not sure you can change to Japanese in this game. There must be, but I think I looked and I don't think you can. So I'm not sure, but I would make that change. But
I've always thought
so far I'm enjoying it. I know that you do the 7 chapters and then they come together and whatever. I have no idea what that story is, but I'm enjoying it.
I want to play this. This is on my near-term list.
Yeah, this was a good pick. I didn't want to rush through Octopath. I'll play Octopath when I have time, probably after like Tears of the Kingdom or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Nice. So I picked up Kirby Return to Dreamland. And let me tell you,
Deluxe.
This is a game that only we're playing as a family. And we are having an absolute blast. You know, we put on like the what do you call it? Almost, I don't want to say easy mode, but pretty much the helping mode, right? So if you like fall off the cliff, the guy kind of returns you up. You don't die. They've obviously, I never played the original, so I don't know what they added and what was already there. If they added stuff, we're on world 4 of the 5 worlds in the story mode.
Wow.
But they also added the solo challenges, or maybe they always had the solo challenges, which is similar to what they had in Forgotten Land. Remember in the Forgotten Land, they had like the missions where you get an ability, and then you have to do it in somebody's time limit, and you get like bronze, silver.
Oh, you get
gold.
like a little, yeah.
I think we did a mayhem on it. Maybe we did. Yes, but you get like a little medal based on how good you. So they have these solo challenges with the abilities that you unlock. I don't know if they always had those. So they have those, but they also have I don't know how to say it, Magoland, I'm going to call it, which is their amusement park, which is pretty much just Mario Party mini games. It's all it is, and they are so much fun. The 4 of us played these. And you have to complete these little tickets. And when you complete a ticket, you get a mask. And then you can put your mask on the Kirby, and you can play it. You can keep it throughout the entire game, back in the story mode. And it's hysterical. There's 100 masks that you can collect. And so there's like 100 tickets you have to complete. Each ticket, you need to get like 15 stamps. So you get like this little ticket. You get a stamp for like some mini games, you'll get like 8 stamps. Right, so depending on what you do, I think we probably have already collected about 50. Maybe not that many, 35 or 40 masks. We've been playing it, but it's just so fun. Like it's just you lose, like you get like the jiggles, the kids get the jiggles, then you guys just lose it. Like we have all the different color Kirbys, and then like I'm pink Kirby. My daughter will be like yellow, but there's a mask that has a pink Kirby face. So like she'll wear it and it gets so confusing, right? Because it's like, no, is that me or is that you? But yeah, it's just, it's so stupid and so genius. It's like, it's so much fun. It just makes the game that much more fun. And then of course you can play as Meta Knight or King
Meta
Dedede.
Knight.
Meta? What did I say?
Knight,
Meta? Yeah, Meta Knight. Or King Dedede as well.
DDD.
And Waddle Dee.
3Ds.
He plays Waddle Dee as well. Yeah, we're really enjoying it.
I think in the original version of the game, only one person could be Kirby, and I remember that being an issue because I remember my kids playing it, and they would fight over who got to be Kirby. But now you can all be Kirbys. Seems like an obvious thing now, but that's the way it was.
Yes. Yeah, well, yeah. But if it is defaults the color to whatever controller you're on, so you can't change the color, but there's yellow, blue, and green.
Right. And
it's just based on second, third, and fourth player. And then the beauty is you can drop in and out just by holding Y.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's nice because there was some parts like that are challenging, like where you have to keep moving. And my son was like, I don't like this part. It's too hard. And he would just drop out.
Yep.
And then as soon as that part's done, he's right back in. Yep. And then you can change your characters on the fly at any time. So it's chaos. It's truly fun. We're having a blast.
Swear. It feels like yesterday. I watch my kids drop in and out of the game and whatever. It's like I said, you guys should play the original if you get a chance. After this, just to see the differences is probably pretty funny, but
would be. But yeah, Kirby, Return to Dreamland. absolute blast. I mean, I don't think it's nearly as good as the Forgotten Land, but I think that's big shoes to follow. Obviously,
Different game.
different types of game, but
Yeah.
for the most part, it's solid. I don't see it's polished as expected.
Looks like a lot of family fun. Looks pretty awesome. Last game, and then we'll move on. I wanted to mention I started Hogwarts Legacy today.
Woo!
I got dragged in by Hambone. I was gonna wait for a sale, and then Hambone got it on sale, and he's like, "You gonna play too?" And I'm like, "All right." And so I got to say this. I hate to say this.
Oh boy,
I really hate to say this, Drew, but I can't find anything wrong with this game.
Wow.
Not one thing. I am thoroughly impressed. It is polished, which games like this...
It's hard to polish.
So this is like an open world-ish it's a Harry Potter game. There's no Harry Potter. It takes place long time. I think 100, 200, whatever years before Harry Potter.
Okay.
But it takes place at Hogwarts. There's a lot of references. If you've read the books and the movies, there's a lot of that. But a lot of people are all different. Which is good because you don't have to be like, I have to compare Hermione to this one and all that. So I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Make your own story. And there's the 4 schools and whatever. So you pick your character. It's got a pretty decent character creator, not super overdone. I decided I'm going to cosplay as Ginny Weasley. So I have a Ginny looking character. I tried Hermione. I couldn't get a good Hermione. They also have Harry Potter glasses, but I've seen what people make for their Harry Potters. There's not a good Harry Potter hairstyle. So I'm cosplaying as Ginny Weasley. They have a great little tutorial section. You are a 5th year student. You are just starting at Hogwarts, but you're in your 5th year because you're older. So that's pretty neat. And yeah, there's like a tutorial section going in. I won't get into really the story at all, but a great little tutorial section teaches you magic use. And then I think you go day by day. So I'm on day 1 of at Hogwarts. You have to go to the Charms class and the Defense of the Dark Arts class. It's not like one of those open world games where day, night, and you're just doing whatever. You
have 2 quests, and once you do them all, it's gonna go to the end of day 1.
I think once you do the main quests, you can maybe advance the day. I'm not
you want to go
sure.
to bed type thing. Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, it's just daytime, and it's like that, which is actually really neat.
I like that though. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's like you're following a calendar. Just a lot of these games come out and they're super buggy and broken and whatever. This game, and I know on PC, it's got some glitches on PC, but I'm playing it on PlayStation 5. It is polished. The graphics are nice. I'm doing it on performance mode. I greatly recommend performance mode. I switched it to the resolution mode, and it's just much slower. Performance mode. They give you like this book, and it gives you a map, and it gives you your quest logs and all these extra things you can do. It's just so nice. You go to the quests and you pick the one you want to do. You can have I think it's a golden snitch lead you to where the next place is. There are all these little secrets all over the school, and you use this spell called Revelio to like reveal the little secrets. And I had heard that people were just constantly casting the spell, and I hate that in games when they force you to like boom as you're looking. It's really not that bad. It's actually fun to cast the spell. It's pretty quick. You just press left on the D-pad and it does it. So it's not that bad. Everything in the game is just so well done. The animations are well done. The story's good. It's not overly chatty at all. It's actually pretty succinct.
Sweet.
I nothing bad about it. So I'm finishing up day 1. I'm about to go to Hogsmeade.
Nice. And, will Michelle play this?
I'm going to try to see. I want to play through all 4 schools. I'm in Gryffindor, by the way. But I want to do all 4, but I want to see if Michelle wants to play one of the schools, and then I can just kind of watch her.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm going to play through it 4 times because there's different. I don't know of the main quest, but there's at least different side quests for all the different for the houses.
Yeah.
So it's like, and thus you go to your what do they call it? Not the break room. Your homeroom,
like the dorm, the dorm, whatever it is. The I know what you.
So I'm in the Gryffindor dorm,
common area, whatever. It's called.
Common room. And so it's like, I want to see what the Slytherin one looks like and Ravenclaw. Yeah. So I expect to play this game 4 times, but we'll see once I get through the first one.
How long is it? Is it a long game?
I honestly don't know. I don't even want to know. I hope it's like shorter because they know you want to play through all 4 of the schools. And, you have people who are in Gryffindor that you talk to that you won't talk to in the other one.
Correct. Yeah,
I'm really excited to play through it. I'm going to be playing this game for a long time, but
good.
I can't say one thing that I don't like about the game. I'm absolutely shocked. I thought it'd be kind of boring and I wasn't even going to play it. Absolutely shocked. Everything is brilliantly done. And by the way, this is Warner Brothers. They're the ones that publish The Witcher 3. So
awesome.
Good job, Warner Brothers. You're nailing your open world games. But I hope to talk a lot more about that game next episode. That and Live Alive. So that should be it. 2 games next time. I guarantee it. 2 times. 2 games.
Let's get to the meat.
I have a rant. I just want you to sit back, listen, and provide me your input and feedback and any experiences you have.
I always do.
Pokemon. A year ago, I didn't give a fuck about Pokemon. And now I'm so balls deep, my tip is hurting. Gotta catch them all, right? That's what everyone says. You gotta catch them all. So obviously, we all know I played through Sword and Shield. I'm still playing it. I'm like, I don't know if you have your Switch in front of you. I gotta be 55 or 60 hours in, around there. I have about 300 Pokemon out of the 400. So I'm getting down to the part where it starts to get a little tricky, right? That's what I'm learning. So you gotta remember, I've never done this before. This is my 3rd Pokemon game ever playing. Let's Go, right? Then I went to Violet, and now I'm back on Shield. And I'm learning about this. And I gotta say, the Pokemon scam, Steam, it's fucking stupid. Right? It's just so stupid. And the game fucked me. So if you remember, 2 weeks ago, we were having this conversation and I said, I need help. Right? Remember, I asked the fans for help. The listeners, I said, I need help. I don't understand how to find Pokemon that I have them or I don't have them. I said, there's got to be a way to figure it out. So I figured out a kind of a way. And I don't know if I'm doing this right. So again, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you can help me, John. When I look at the Pokédex screen, right? It shows your Pokédex, which ones you've seen, which ones you haven't caught, which ones you haven't even seen yet.
Right.
If you look, there's like 4. It shows up to 4 at a time of Pokemon you don't have and where they are based on the weather, what route they're on, what area they're currently in. And if you go to them and hit X, it shows like what habitat they live in and where you can currently find them on the map based on the current weather in the game.
Right.
So I was like, wow, that's the key. That's what I need to do. I need to go to the Pokédex, and I'm going to go to that area, and I'm going to look, and I'm going to find it. So I went from like 220 Pokemon to 300 Pokemon doing that. Like, killed it. And then I would put the lower level ones that I knew evolved into that, because that's Evan's favorite part. Evan has the Pokemon Encyclopedia, which has every 1,000 Pokemon. And he is hysterical, and he will tell me instantly, like, that one evolves twice into this, and he'll like he'll open up the encyclopedias. Yeah, blah, blah, yep, he evolves. Yep, you need to put him in. Oh, you need. So he helps me out. He truly does help me out.
So you put them in your party to make sure they're getting XP.
Yes. Yep.
Okay,
so I try to keep like 3 of my favorites. Like I have Gengar in there, I have Machamp in there, and I have the Kubfu, who I went and evolved. I don't know his fucking new name now. But anyways, I have those 3, then I'm always evolving the other 3.
Right.
So I figured that out. No thanks to any of the listeners. So fuck you guys. So then here's what happened. I went in one day, I did my routine. I'm pumped. I'm ready to do my Pokédex. And I go to the Pokédex and it says the nearest your 4 Pokemon. And I'm like, why are they all on the Island of Armor or Isle of Armor, whatever the hell it's the DLC.
The DLC.
And I was like, well, that's odd. Because if I collect them on the Isle of Armor, it doesn't go towards my main Pokédex. It goes towards the Isle of Armor Pokédex. It's separate, right? Because there's like 250 Pokemon to catch there. And so then I was like, well, let me just go catch them. And now I would catch them, and then 4 new ones pop up. And they're all specific to the DLC. So Pokemon fucked me, John, because now I don't know which ones I need for the right of the... Like, why are they intertwining that?
I never did the DLC. That's interesting. I didn't
you know
even
what I'm
know that there was that many in the
I
DLC.
think there's like
But you're saying is there's
250.
a separate Pokedex for the DLC,
Correct.
but they're showing up that you need to get them in the regular one, but they're not in the regular game. That doesn't make sense to me.
Correct. And then I was like, oh, maybe like I highlighted the Isle of Armor Pokedex. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's trying to give me clues, but there's no
Yeah.
way to like change which Pokedex you want to look at.
Did you
From like a
Google
setting
like the
point of view
particular Pokemon maybe, or you don't know what the Pokemon is?
that I'm trying to find next.
Yeah, well, they have IDs, right? They have a number, so you can look up the number.
I just had to look up the number and find out, but it was nice in game because it would legit put a little icon on my map.
Yeah.
And then I would just fly to that area and I know who I'm looking for. And the kids were excited. They were like looking, oh, there he is, there he is, there he is. You know, like it was just, it made it more fun and enjoyable. Now it's like, I don't even know where to go, where to look, or who I'm looking for.
Right. But not
like,
every Pokemon you can find them in the wild.
And that's when I'm starting to think, maybe that's my other problem. Maybe like I'm at 300, I still have 100, so I doubt like I've hit the point where I need to start evolving and trading.
Trading, yeah, evolving, or ones that aren't in your version of the game.
Correct. Maybe I'm starting to get to that point, so now it just defaulted to the DLC content.
Yeah, I don't know.
And now the other, I've
Dylan, let Drew know.
I need help. I gotta collect the Pokemon. I've never done it. I want to do it. Now I have some more shit answers. Evolving is so dumb. It's dumb. It's so stupid that I need to evolve an Eevee, that I need to have a friendship level of this, and it needs to be nighttime, and it needs to be on a Saturday, and you have to be in this area. It's like, why?
It's fun.
And you're going to give him this stone, and it's like, well, if you give him this stone during nighttime, it will evolve into this. Why is it going to be so complicated?
When I played Sword and Shield, I got the whole Pokedex, and that is the first game where I discovered that they gave you that information in the Pokedex. But there was definitely things I had to Google and find out. But I had a blast. Yeah, like I had to get this thing in certain weather and all that. Yeah. It's not immediate satisfaction, but it's fun. It's like, I got to wait for this day and I'm going to do that or whatever. But you're in the game. You guys are playing it for a long time.
We're committed.
Embrace it.
We're committed.
Embrace it.
The last thing I'll say is, did you know, I don't know why, I looked up, because Evan is delusional. He sits. He doesn't get it. He's like, he wants to like buy me a plushie of like, you know, Gigantamax shiny Machamp. And I'm like, buddy, that doesn't exist. He's like, no, look it up on your phone. You know, the kids, they think
look it up on your phone.
They think phones, everything, it's all right. So I tried to prove a point to him. I was like, look, I'm going to type it in. And what comes up, did you know you can buy like pretty much any Pokemon you want on eBay for Sword and Shield, and they will friend you and deliver it to you in game? So for example, a shiny Machamp is $2.99.
Oh, they'll connect with you and give it
so
to
if
you.
I want to go buy a shiny Machamp, it's $3. It's actually not a bad price.
You do not want to go down that path.
I do not.
What is the value to buying I mean, I guess this is specific for Evan, but the fun is just finding it.
That's the point, right?
I get it.
I correct me if I'm wrong, but once you complete the Pokédex, you get the shiny stone or whatever it is, right? Where you can find shinies. So like my goal is to play with Evan, try to complete it, and then just say, buddy, like when you get to have your game time, go crazy on my account and try to find some shinies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like go look for all. I'll tell you where you can find Machamp. I'll tell you where you can find Gengar, and you just keep fighting them until you find one. You have a better odds. Yeah. But I thought it was crazy that you could actually go on eBay and buy specific in-game Pokemon.
There's always exploits to sort of replicate Pokemon. So it's just somebody taking a shiny and trading it and replicating it and then selling it.
Correct.
It's you know what it is? It's like dirty money. It's like a dirty shiny.
It is. It is a dirty shiny.
Dirty shiny.
That's it. That's my rant for Pokemon this week. But someone help me. Help me to figure out, because I'm going to get to a point I am going to have to start trading with people. Right? That's the only way to complete it?
Yeah, because there's certain characters you can only get in the other game.
In Sword.
Which
I think there's only like a dozen or so, though. It's not like there's a lot.
Yeah, but have you done Wonder Traits?
I don't know what that is.
So if you go to the online area, you can do what they call as a Wonder Trade, which is you just take a Pokemon and offer it, and you just get randomly connected with somebody else and you trade. And you don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes people put valuable things in because they've replicated, Sometimes you get garbage. It's actually fun. And I filled out a lot of my Pokedex just with random. It feels like a cheat, but like you can spend 20 minutes and just keep doing wonder trades and just see what comes up. You might get something cool and you'll get stuff. So who knows? Maybe you get a shiny Machamp through there, but it feels a little cheaty. It feels like I'm not going through the process. So you have to decide for yourself.
Yeah. At which point? Well, maybe I do it now before you get the, I still have 100 to go.
Yeah. I would say like exhaust yourself and then, maybe, I don't know, but you give it a try. See what you think about it.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's called wonder trading.
All right. I think I've seen it. I'll have to try it.
It's fun.
We've also been like Gigantamaxing tons of people. You have to go do match raids, and then you have to get the mushrooms. You have to make the mushroom match soup. So I think we've already Gigantamaxed like 4 different Pokemon.
That's cool. God, I barely remember this game. One thing I will end with is we were supposed to get a patch for Scarlet and Violet in late February. I know tomorrow morning it's Pokemon Day, right? They're doing a presentation early tomorrow morning. I was thinking the patch would come out, like they're not going to announce the patch and say, hey, we're fixed our janky game, but there's some other stuff in this patch that's not jankiness. So I think they might talk about that patch and release it tomorrow. And
Maybe
I've
DLC?
been waiting for the jank I'm waiting for a good deal of the jank to leave the game. So I might be able to start playing Pokemon.
You never played it.
I haven't played Scarlet and Violet.
I enjoyed it.
Return to Castlevania will take me a week, and then I'll probably be playing something else. So I'm kind of excited. I might be ready to get in on Scarlet and Violet.
Now, do we know any DLC for that?
There will be. I don't think we know it, but they might announce it tomorrow.
They probably will announce it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
When I was playing Fire Emblem, it's a Fire Emblem Engage. It's a mostly voice acted game. And when you play a voice acted game, but you are allowed to customize your name. And what'll happen is in like Fire Emblem, for example, you are the Divine Dragon. By default, your name is a Leer, but you can make your name whatever you want. So usually I say Blanc, but in Fire Emblem, for some reason, I just leave the name in. I like Byleth. I like a Leer. And all that. But when they voice act it, they obviously can't say Blanc.
Yeah.
So they'll say something. And in this game, they'll say, hey, Divine Dragon. But the text might say Blanc.
So what's the point of giving yourself a name?
Exactly. I leave my name as a Leer, but they don't say a Leer. They assume, whatever. So my question is, we are starting to see AI voices, right? Do you remember the story where James Earl Jones signed a contract to allow his voice to be used with AI to voice Darth Vader going forward? Because he's older. He's older. His voice doesn't sound the same. At what point are we going to start seeing games with voice acting start using AI? Either because, I think that you're going to see games that have fully AI voices instead of real voice actors, but that when you voice act the game, they actually take your voice and they can use AI versions. Wouldn't it be wild if you play a voice acted game and it actually says Blanc to you?
So this is a really interesting concept, right? Because if you remember a while back, they talked about this with movies as well, right? And actors and CGI in their face, right? And a good example is, and I'm actually super intrigued in this because I don't know if you've seen the new Indiana Jones trailer, but there's parts of the movie that look like it's a younger Harrison Ford, but you can't tell. And there's parts that definitely looks old, right? So that wouldn't make a lot of sense. But my point is, they use that as an example. Is imagine Indiana Jones, you can make 100 more movies, but Harrison Ford would still be Indiana Jones, even though it's played by a totally different person, but they CGI like a stuntman's face as Harrison Ford.
I don't want to give away any spoilers to anybody, but Luke Skywalker, like, you know what I mean?
Perfect example.
Right. Yeah.
Perfect example. Right. So I think it's the same concept where when you have a reoccurring character, right, and I hate to bring up Bayonetta, John, right? Because I know there was, you kind of, in the spoiler cast, again, you kind of talked about the Bayonetta storyline and stuff like that. But like, what do you, a lot of the times they might have to kill off a character or they might have to do something because it's just like a different actor. How many movies or TV shows we watch when it's a new actor that comes in? It's like, it's confusing at first. Right. And it's like, well, that's not what I'm used to seeing. And it's interesting take with,
I don't love it. I don't
I don't
love it.
know.
Remember in Rogue One, we saw, I think that was one of the earliest movies where we saw a CGI face
Yeah.
of Princess Leia. And I don't love it because I want to see a human. I'm already tired of movies that have too much CGI. It's why I don't really like the Marvel movies. It's just so CGI. I want to see real humans with real emotions, good actors that can do good performances. And the CGI is really good. And I've seen the Harrison Ford like de-aging, but I feel like I'm now no longer looking at a human being. I'm looking at really good CG. Yes, it's being acted by Harrison Ford in this case, but I don't want to see that. I want to see Harrison Ford. I want to see, and not necessarily I want to see Harrison Ford, but I want to see a human act. I don't want to see them overuse this concept.
If you remember right, this happened, I think, actually in Lord of the Rings, because Andy Serkis, who plays Gollum, right? I think they wanted to nominate him for an Oscar, and they said, we can't nominate you for an Oscar because your face is not in the movie.
You're not on screen,
right? And then in King Kong, something similar, right? Because Andy Serkis plays Kong, and Andy Serkis also plays like the chef, but it's the same concept, right? So, but it also is to the point. At which point, like, is it kind of degrading, like, to like the characters, like, like what about the
rules
poor
are
guy that has
changing.
to go play that person, right? That plays the Indiana Jones, like that. Sorry, you're not Indiana Jones anymore.
I think the rules will change over time. Think about think about records, right? Remember, like artists used to get platinum records, double platinum, gold records. Nobody buys records anymore. That doesn't work.
Correct.
Gaming services, like what are the game sales of Starfield going to be? Not terribly high because Game Pass is taking them away. So we're going to start changing the way we rank things. So I think eventually you just will be able to, because there's so much CGI going on. I think you do have to change the rules, and maybe we're in that weird zone where they just haven't.
They don't know how to do it yet.
Right, yeah. And there should be like, do they even have? Yeah, do they have categories for voice acting? Because they really should. Like, there's enough performances that are all voice acted.
Especially a lot of animated films nowadays that are getting, pretty big, right? You look at like Into the Spider-Verse and stuff like that, and all those were some big actors. Like, yeah, what do you just? I think they're best animated films and best animated scores, but I don't know if they do voice. Maybe not the Oscar level. I'm not sure.
They should make some categories, some new categories.
They need to.
I just think AI is really in the last few years, AI is becoming insanely good. ChatGPT is awesome. We're seeing people that like make video clips using just, quick searches. Like we've seen it. We've seen the Seinfeld stuff. And it's just crazy. We're going to start seeing movies that are done in AI, and we're going to see voice performances and all that stuff.
Yeah, and with that, like, think about, let's use the Mario movie example. So, like, imagine if you could AI the perfect Mario voice. Let's just say that existed, right? But for instance, Chris Pratt doesn't voice Mario. AI does.
Right.
Like, so what's the actor's credit? Like, there's like the voice of Mario is nobody. It's just.
I mean, yeah, I don't think you can give an award to AI.
I'm not saying an award, but my point is, could you do a whole movie with no actors?
Eventually, I think you will. Because think about it. Think about the money they would save, first of all.
Oh, my God.
I do think we see a lot of animated movies have celebrities. Remember in the old days, it used to be just mostly voice actors.
Correct.
Now we see celebrities because they're trying to sell their movie with these celebrities.
Of course, everyone loves Chris Pratt, so let's put him in this movie. Everyone loves this Jack Black. Let's put him in this movie. Yeah.
Would we get to emote? Like, I mean, I would watch the Mario movie either way, but I feel like that would bug me. Like, I want to hear a person and not like.
Would you rather hear like a nobody? Like, I don't know who that person is. I don't know that name.
Somebody who, if it's a nobody and they do a really good voice, then I'm fine. I'm fine with that.
Agreed.
We see that mostly in Disney movies. Most of the characters are not known people, but the main characters are always celebrities. Yeah. But I'm going to say right now, within the next 5 years, you're going to start seeing some games where they will actually speak your name using AI voice. That's my prediction. And I think that would be wild to be called Blanc in a game. That's going to happen.
You put someone like Dickhead as their name, and then it's like
whatever. I mean, these games are cursing anyway. So what's the difference?
I'm sorry, I tell you a quick story. You made me think of it. So my daughter plays Adventure Academy on the PC. So she's playing Adventure Academy the day, and I was working, and she's like, "Daddy, can you come here?" And you can tell she was a little upset.
Oh no!
Come over, and she goes, "I go, what's wrong?" She goes, "I just got this new pet, like Triceratops, and it asked me to give him a name." and I'm trying to name it, and it keeps telling me that it's not allowed. And I'm like, well, what are you trying to name it? And she says, horny. Like, horny. And I said, oh, oh, okay. She
Oh
goes,
boy.
I said, have you tried like something else? She goes, well, I tried horny dude. It's like, wow, why don't you just come up with Tritsy or oh, that's a good name. And I'm
That's
like,
a good
oh
name.
my God, like, yeah, and I'm not going to try to explain to her why she can't use horny. I mean, it's like she's very literal. Like it has 3 horns, so she wants to name it horny, and I'm just like,
Parenting does get complicated.
parenting. Sorry to interrupt. I forgot to tell that story.
No, we're good. Are you watching The Last of Us? There's a new episode tonight.
I'm not watching
wait.
it tonight, but I'll watch it this week.
I won't spoil it. I think there's,
you already
there's
watched
3.
it?
No. I watch it as soon as the show's over. I'm going upstairs. We are watching it.
Is it out? What time does it come out?
It's out. I think it comes out around 7 my time. I think it's been out for the last hour or so. It's been really good, right?
So I think you remember I told you, like, in the beginning, it's fine. I'm enjoying it, but I didn't think it was anything special. It actually felt very, like, Walking Dead-ish a little. It didn't, like, in the beginning of Walking Dead, it didn't feel just a survival thing. I'll be the first to admit, people can hate me if they want. Even in episode 3, I thought they tried too hard a little bit with that. I don't know. Like, it
was one of the best episodes I've ever seen
of television. It was a good episode, but like they didn't need 40 minutes to like portray it when it was all about just like trying to show you that Joel was close to them and he was going to come back to the house. I don't know.
I think almost the entire show revolves around that little story about what, like we've talked about it. The title, The Last of Us, has so many meanings, and that's what makes the story so good. And it's like, what really is the purpose? And like, to one of them was that, like, that Bill didn't want to continue on because there wasn't a life anymore. He could have, but he didn't want to. And I think it informs the whole story about having another person that you care about and whatever. It just informs a story in some ways, besides the fact that the story was done so well with the guy from White Lotus. But oh man, that was
so. I will say the last 2 episodes have definitely made me change my outlook on the show. Right, I think I'm really starting to get intrigued about hers. Like, she has her immunity. Now, I mean, spoiler alert, not really. Like, Joel meeting his brother again, finally, like, and it wasn't what everyone kind of expected it, and it's starting to grab you. There was a lot of action in the last 2 episodes, a little bit, as well. I mean, can we just stop for a minute? Joel, he brings this up in the last episode that he used to be a contractor, right? What contractor knows how to just like snap guys' nets? Like,
well, that part wasn't really. But like, remember, it's been 20 years since the outbreak, so he's learned these techniques. And his brother is his brother's ex-military, so he's probably learned a lot of that from his.
And they talked about what they've done in the past, kind of like they don't say it, but they imply a lot. So but it's just it seems funny.
Yeah,
how like.
I gotta say,
badass assassin all of a sudden.
I was so excited about the last episode because they got to Colorado. It's where I'm from, right? I was really excited. But the dialogue on the horse when he's saying that he's a contractor and people really loved contractors. And I am a contractor, but for 8 years I was a full-time contractor. And I was like, I want to clip this and put it on my website, just talking about how great contractors are. So good. It's been really good. I love. Yeah, it's
great. I'm only 3 episodes left, I believe.
Yeah, and that last episode really tapped into The Last of Us 2. A lot of that scenery comes out of Last of Us 2, not Last of Us 1.
Really? Like up in the snow and stuff?
Well, when he gets to Tommy's, you only see like one building at Tommy's. You don't see the village, really.
Yep.
And in Last of Us 2, you see the village. And so a lot of that scenery is right out of The Last of Us 2.
Gotcha.
Presumably it was there before, but we never really saw it. Yeah. So
that's not part of the story at that point. Okay.
Yeah. That's
Is
exciting.
it still following the video game pretty closely, would you say?
Fairly closely. Yeah, little things here and there.
You could probably predict what the next 2 episodes are going to happen.
I think so. Like, I'm really excited for tonight's episode, but I don't know what we're going to see in its entirety. But for the most part, they're following the story. I think the really big differences so far in the show would be that we really didn't see Frank at all in the game. But we got his story, and it was more fleshed out. And the Bill thing was different. The way they leave the town, and Bill's alive in the video game. So that was really
Bill?
Bill was the guy from Parks and Rec.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, but he's
still
alive in the game. Yeah, he helps them escape, and that's it. Frank is in the game, but he's dead. You only see him dead. He hangs himself. And, there was a relationship there, but you didn't see that happen. You see it in a letter. That was the biggest departure. Yeah. So there's been little departures here and there to help the story. The story with the two guys, I'm forgetting their name.
The brothers.
Sam and the other guy.
The two brothers.
Yeah. Sam.
Yeah. I don't know their names.
I can't remember the other one. And that story was a little bit different. But for the most part, that is right from the game. But there were some little differences about who they are and whatever. But it was, for the most part, the same. Oh, yeah. And Sam is not deaf in the game.
Okay.
That was specific for the show.
He's actually deaf, too, I saw.
And he is. Yeah, the actor's actually really deaf. But I thought that was a really good touch. Every time they've changed from the game, it's always been for good reasons. So
I thought that was a good touch. I agree.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Sweet.
I want to talk about something. Fire Emblem Engage. You didn't play much of Fire Emblem Engage. You played a little bit of it. It is hard. I have to talk about this. It is hard not to notice there are some major smoke show hotties,
of course,
in Fire Emblem, and I tried to use all of them in my last run. Insane though, like Princess Ivy. You can look her up. Insanely hot. It's absurd. One of the main villains in the game, her name is Zethia. I mean, she's like a MILF, right? Because she's got kids. She's insanely hot, and I just can't even believe some of these characters and their dressing. I mean, the hips are out, and it's like way over the top. Yunaka, there's so many of it. So the question I had for myself was, how much of this works? Like, I love Fire Emblem's combat, but if Fire Emblem was everyone fully dressed and maybe more accurate, like someone in an army is not going to be a very pretty person. They're going to be rough around the edges. How much of the fact that these characters are hot, not just the women, the men too, are just super hot, really leads me to enjoy this game as much as I do. And so I'm going to throw this question at you, Drew. How many games did you really enjoy because the character was hot?
I played Nintendo, John. There's not. It's not.
Okay, let's think of the games that you like or enjoy, or maybe enjoyed more. You really liked Xenoblade 2, right?
I liked every Xenoblade besides Xenoblade 3.
But you like Xenoblade 2 more than 3. Is it because Mithra and Pyra are in 2?
Let's be honest. Let's put it this way: if it was two male characters, would it be as fun?
Like switching between?
Yeah. If it was just instead of Pyra and Mithra, if Pyra and Mithra were males, I'm
going to come out and say it. I mean, Pyra being super hot really kept me focused on that game.
It did. I agree.
And I stopped playing that game about 15 hours in, but then sometime later I started it over and played through it. And it was really because Pyra is hot.
She is.
I'm going to be honest. I mean, I'm just being honest.
I'm 100% honest too. I believe that did help me finish. Help me finished.
I mean, and you talked about The Witcher, right? Like The Witcher is a great game, and I love Geralt. I love all of it. Having Yennefer in the beginning of that game, Yennefer is sitting there with a towel on her head. She's naked, right? You don't see a lot, but
yeah.
And then later on, Kira and Triss, and I like Ciri's look a lot.
Super shins.
If those characters were, not attractive to you,
yeah,
how much of that would keep you going? That keeps you when you first meet Kira, right? Do you remember when you first met Kira? She's outside, she's arguing with some villagers, she goes back inside her house. You go in, you presumably know her from previous games. She's in an area. You find her taking a bath.
You go up the stairs.
I mean, there's nudity. She gets out of the bath. I mean, like,
but
keeps you interested.
I think it's interested the point where like they show you the tease, and then you know that the more you could explore, the more nudity scenes you could get.
Right. Especially after the first time, right?
Yeah, so it's like that. It's that excitement of like, oh, if I go do this, I go do this quest or that quest, or I go into the whorehouse, like banging Trish in the lighthouse. Like it's. I agree. I think it keeps you motivated in a weird, creepy, disgusting way.
Yeah. When I first played Bayonetta 2, it's not my genre of game, but I was drawn in by the sex appeal of Bayonetta. And like, I'll be honest, if that was a dude or something like that, I don't think I would be like, oh, let me play this crazy action platformer, not platformer, but like, action brawler type game. I don't think I would. I never played Devil May Cry. And I don't think people want to talk about it or be honest. Like, we're going to be honest about it, right? Like, I think that's all there to help out. And it's not just the ladies, it's the guys too, right? Nathan Drake. I don't know if Michelle would have been as interested in Uncharted, but Nathan Drake's he's a stud muffin.
But I mean, but where does it end, right? And where's the fine line? I mean, we even see nowadays some of the characters in Mario Kart wearing these spandex suits to friggin' drive on motorcycles. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Is it necessary?
Pink Gold Peach is a hottie. I mean, my main currently in Smash Brothers is Pyra Mythra, right? And I it's because I like them. I don't know. And I mained Bayonetta on the Wii U, and I love those characters. But mostly it kind of reminds me of the fact that when you pick a character in a game, what do you pick? Right? I think you pick dudes when you do a custom character. You do pick dudes because you judge me when I pick women.
I don't judge you in a bad way, but
I sent a picture of me as Ginny when I was making my character in Hogwarts Legacy just today, and you gave me the blush emoji.
It was like the big eyes, like what, like
why? Why?
Yeah, why? Like the why look.
But what were you saying with it?
Why Ginny?
Ginny's awesome.
Why Ginny?
Ginny's a great example of Ginny was like a young redheaded girl in the first movie, but like she got cute in like later movies. I feel like
if you might as well just go and try to make it a hot random character.
I wanted to do Hermione because she's a main character, but I couldn't get her right. And then I was just like, let me go for more of a side character. She becomes more major, but that's really what I was going for. And I'm going to be a Weasley and do this. Let me tell you, it is awkward though, because there's a Professor Weasley in the game, and then there's another Weasley that you meet later, and none of them are like, "Hey, cousin," just like they don't recognize me at all. It's like I'm Ginny.
So you should have made Cedric.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm going to do Cedric Diggory for a run, and I think he's a Hufflepuff or he's a Ravenclaw. I can't remember. When I do that, I'm going to make a Cedric Diggory. So. I don't know. So I asked this question on Twitter, and I just wanted to read some of the answers here. And here's what I asked. I said, here's part of the discussion we're going to have in this week's episode. Mm-hmm. When given the choice to create a male or female character, what do you generally pick and why? First off, I want to say I attached a GIF to this tweet, and it's an amazing GIF.
It's a great GIF. Looking at it right now.
Deciding between a hot dog and a taco, which, if you really think about it, is hilarious.
And she's in a bikini.
I think there's more going on than just the food choice here. It's great. If you know what movie or show this is from, please let me know, because I want to see this live action. It's fantastic. So first response we got from Elon Musk is the parody. Great username, by the way. And she says, female, because I want to play as a character that is as much a representation of myself as possible. Is this what you do? Do you make yourself?
Well, this must be a female person then.
It is a female. Or do you?
Depends. Like, it's just like right now, I changed my entire look on Pokemon. I'm running around as like a gothic kid with like pink hair and a Gandar shirt with ripped jeans. It just depends on the day, John.
But did you start as kind of like a Drew type character, and then you're just like bored and you're just changing?
I started as like a typical Pokemon trainer would look.
What does that even mean?
Just boring old
white guy.
I think I named him Drew. Like, it was just boring Drew. Yeah.
I mean, you don't get a lot of choices in Pokemon.
It depends. depends on the type of game. Like if I'm gonna go play a game and I'd have to choose between like a warrior, archer, or mage, like I'm gonna make my character look kind of what I think that person should look like.
Okay.
I try to I like to play
stereotyping.
As weird as it is, like if I get to pick, like if I was playing, I kind of Geralt is like a good type of person. I usually build like a warrior guy with like white hair, like an older seasoned warrior. That's kind of what I like to make my guy as.
I will say that when I made my Bella Ramsey, my Ginny, I gave her a cool scar across her nose. I
saw that.
Because I think every character should have a cool scar.
Yeah, I'm all for like a seasoned character. I want the person to have experience.
Yeah, I get it.
Anyway,
I always pick like a female, and the reason why I pick a female is because I played games as a kid for so long, and we never got female characters. And so I just feel like I'm tired of seeing like some guy with a big axe destroy everybody. I want to see a chick just like kick ass. So that's why I do it. But then there's also the part of I like hearing the female voice. I'm going to play a game. I'm going to play Harry Potter or whatever for so many hours. I want to hear a female voice. I want to see a female character, right? And that was a response from Atomic Squid, who said female with 4 exclamation marks. They're rivaling you. If I'm going to stare at a character's butt for the next 20 to 40 hours, assuming a third-person perspective, I want it to be female. I mean, I think that's a great response. That's it. We also got a response from Robbie Bobby Miller. Female 100% of the time. Almost every game had only a male lead, and the female customizations were by far ahead of the game. That's a really good point. That basically saying the female customizations, you can change the hair, the color of the hair, things like that, and you got more differences going.
Yep.
So that's another good one. But like I said, I also agree. We play games with males all the time. I just want something different. So it's an interesting thing. You definitely see some men say I pick a female because I just like looking at the female. I think even Jesse said that. Andy P, the informant, I usually go with the male option and try to make the character look like me if possible. Clearly, Andy's really into himself. We know this. He stares at the mirror all day. You know, that's just, but that's Andy, man. That's why we love him. He's into Andy. But no, I get it. You make yourself in the game. I don't look good in games, right? I've got no hair, right? And it's like I want to play around with long hair, and so I can't really do it. So I just go in a totally different direction. I did enjoy the male character in Fire Emblem Engage more than the female, though, I have to say. They spoke faster. And then last one we got, this is from Chris. I always choose a male character, identify as such, and prefer to create a character in my likeness when given the option to. So, I mean, that seems to be it. That's interesting. But I think hotness does matter in games. It's there on purpose. There are attractive characters. The Witcher is full of them. It's just the way it is. By the way, do you think Zelda looks better with the short hair in the trailers we're seeing for Tears of the Kingdom or the long hair?
I got to see it in action. I can't say yet. Zelda's weird. Zelda's like your sister. Like you can't look at her as hot.
No. Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying though? Like what happened? But back to our other point. What if they made her sexual? Would it be weird? Would people like no, not her?
Yeah, it's just not like Nintendo. When we did the booty bracket, we had a bunch of Nintendo characters, Rosalina and Peach and whatever, and it's like I just don't think of them that way at all. It's just not. That's not them. So I think the same thing with Zelda. Even the fan art, it just no matter what you do, no matter how much you pervert it, it just doesn't work.
They'll never be Wii Fit Trainer. It's just the fact.
Yeah. Certain characters are over sexualized, and we see a lot in gaming.
Yep.
But we see it on both sides. And I think it just keeps your interest. I want to play Lollipop Chainsaw for one reason: main character's hot. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Just being honest. All right, good topic. We've got some listener questions.
We do.
We should go through them. We got a lot of questions. You guys,
let's do it.
Awesome. First question from Bob Cousy. Thoughts on other Gauntlet games besides Legends? Found this in my PS library and considering giving it a go. And what was the game he did? I should have dropped it in
to the Gauntlet series on the PlayStation, right? So once Gauntlet Legends series. So obviously, originally there was Gauntlet, right? That's the old school NES, Gauntlet 2, etc. And
this
then
one's a Slayer edition.
Yeah, the N64 kind of had the series with Gauntlet Legends, the original, which was an arcade game that was on the N64, and then GameCube had Gauntlet Legends Dark Legacy, which I think those were also on other systems. But then Nintendo stopped carrying on the series, and it kind of switched over to PlayStation, I think Xbox as well. And so I never experienced any of the ones that Kuzi is referring to, because they stopped on Nintendo. So I only can talk to the Legend series are my personal favorites. But I say go for it, and then we're gonna have to have them on to talk about it.
I would love to see like just a remake of the first one, nice and simple.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe let you do like up to 8 characters and just do some new maps, and like that would be really fun to play.
So many fun hidden gems.
There was, I will say, when I had, I think it was on PS3 or was it? No, it was 4, and I had PS Plus. I got a Gauntlet game from one of the monthly games, so I have a free game. And then when I re-upped for PS Plus and the PS5, it shows up in my collection. I can play this Gauntlet game from PS4. I don't know which one it is, but I do have one for free. So
interesting.
So yeah, but I'm not really into the Gauntlet series. But I did enjoy the original in the arcade and then on NES a lot.
So good.
All right, question from Darth Platypus. All right, which beer styles, alcoholic drinks pair best with which games?
IPAs. I love a good IPA when I'm gaming. Simple as that.
Do you really?
I do. It's just yeah, because like when I'm gaming, I feel like I'm in weird ways sipping on it more than anything, right? Because you might get into like a long stretch, you forget you had a drink type thing, and then yeah. So an IPA, I kind of I like just enjoying that.
I do not drink while I game. I take my games way too seriously. I got kids and all that stuff, so yeah, I don't. I just don't. I'm just so focused. It doesn't even. I mean, man, you gotta focus. You gotta beat that boss, man.
I will say the best type of games to play while you're drinking is something that does like kind of has a 2-player feature, even if you're playing against a computer. For example, if you were playing a Mario Golf game and you had to play match play and you were watching the computer hit their shot, right? Where you can kind of sit back and you kind of have to focus and watch while you can drink.
Right.
Something like that. I mean, I guess you could do a story game where you're hitting A and watching the story or reading the story. But if you're just playing a full-on action game, it's not that fun to have a drink. You have to either pause it or you're going to have to like wait to, to stop.
I would think a good game to drink to would be like Mario Party as well, because it's just so bizarro.
Yeah.
And you don't really have to focus too much. You can win anyway. All right, we got a question from the informant. When gaming with friends locally, are you anal about cleanliness and your controllers? I sometimes will offer snacks that can be served in a cup so people aren't touching snacks, and then my controllers without washing their hands, and I'll demand a hand wash if I think it's necessary. I love the fact that like you'd be like, Tommy, you had a couple Cheetos there. Would you mind going to my sink and washing before we play this next round?
Yeah. I will say this. One, I don't have friends that I play games with locally. Just a fact. Those days are long gone. But I do have kids who eat all sorts of things and pit their noses and wipes their ass. So, proud moment today, right? My kids go and eat Cool Ranch Doritos.
Ooh.
They come back into the living room and are about to play Kirby. Before I even get to say anything, my wife says, "Whoa, go wash your hands. We're going to play video games." True story. That happened literally tonight. So proud moment. My wife yelled at them before I even could.
Oh, I see. I thought you were going to say your kids.
No, Amy yelled at them. Like, you just ate Doritos. We're about to go play video games. So, yeah, that's all
I'm completely anal about it too. I usually don't have to worry, but we've had gaming nights, and a lot of times people bring their own controllers, so it's not an issue. But yeah, I would purposefully get M&Ms. That was one of the big snacks that I would supply because it's just the driest thing possible. I do have some Joy-Cons that I'll just decide I don't care about. But my Pro controllers, like, we use them all. So it's like, I don't want using my Pro controllers if they're dirty. But I have my own set of Joy-Cons right here in my desk, like my good ones, my Zelda ones, my white ones, my Splatoon ones. And I don't even let my kids use those Joy-Cons, but they have a bucket of the older Joy-Cons, and I'm not too anal about those anymore. So it's just it's all partitioned out.
We each have our own controller, our own Pro controller. So yep, no one uses mine; they use their own.
Sweet. We got a fascinating question. We got a second question from Darth Platypus here. What would be on your list of the 10 must-play games to cover Nintendo's history?
Ooh, that's a lot to unpack there.
Quite a question. So Drew and I put together our individual lists of 10 games for Nintendo history, and we have not compared notes. And I am really curious to see how much overlap we have.
I'm not sure I love my list, but I'm going to go with it.
Okay. How do you want to do this? Do you want to
You say one, I say one. No? Well, you tell me.
I'll just do the whole list. I'm going to do the whole list in chronological order.
Can I stop you if I have an overlap?
No, don't stop me, but let me go through it.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about it. So this is chronological order. By the way, I'm not including the cards or anything like that. That's a different part of history. I'm just talking about the Nintendo games.
Sure.
Donkey Kong, the original Donkey Kong in the arcade. Super Mario Brothers on the NES. Legend of Zelda, NES. Then we go to Super Metroid on the Super Nintendo. Pokemon Yellow, specifically on the Game Boy. Super Mario 64 on Nintendo 64. Animal Crossing on the GameCube, very important. Wii Sports on the Wii. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch, and then Breath of the Wild. Those are my 10. And what I'm trying to do is pick the real landmark games that really marked a change in gaming. All of those sort of represent a generational leap in what we're doing and kind of genres and that sort of thing. So those are my 10.
Not bad.
Let's hear your list.
A little bit of overlap.
Before we...
I struggled with this. It's hard. Right? You try to pull out your favorites, and there's a lot of series I don't play, so it's hard to compare, but I did my best here. I'm actually going to start off with Super Mario Brothers 3. As much as I love the original, I think 3, you can grasp the same concepts as you can in 1, but better. So I'm going with 3. Then I'm going to skip all the way to Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
You're going fast. Yeah. I'm going to skip right next door to Super Mario 64. And I will say, I thought about replacing this with Odyssey later on, but I think there's something about Mario 64 that still does it better than Odyssey. Then, I'm going to jump over the GameCube. Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. I think that's a big franchise for them, and I think that one really captures pretty much everything there is to know. And here's a shocker, and I'm torn about this one. Luigi's Mansion.
The original,
because I think it's the whole concept, like that, almost that same Maniac Mansion type feel where it's like Luigi's Mansion. I'm going to leave it there. I agree with you. Wii Sports. My number 7 in there, I threw Pokemon because I haven't played enough Pokemon, but I know a Pokemon game deserves to be there somewhere. If you say it's yellow, I'll trust you. I don't know. But I know a Pokemon deserves to be on this list, but I don't know which one.
I said yellow because Pikachu, like it kind of drags in the iconic nature of Pikachu becoming the star of Pokemon. Sure. But like I would think like red or blue or yellow is the Pokemon game to do. That was when it really, like, obviously the first game. Yeah. But that was like a firestorm.
I'm also going to throw in the same concept, Animal Crossing. I believe it has to be on that list. I only put New Horizons. That's the only one I played. But again, open, just needs to be some type of Animal Crossing. Yep. And then the last 2 repeats, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and of course, Breath of the Wild.
All right.
And I tried to be smart with it. Like, I wanted to do Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild, so I think you should be able to see the achievements it did. You know,
like I went with Legend of Zelda and Breath of the Wild, so I think we did the same thing.
Same concept. Yep.
You're just younger.
Oh, I played them all, John.
I played them all when they came out.
But I think Ocarina of Time was more defining.
We ended up with 60% overlap on that. Actually, I thought that's pretty good because I thought initially we were not going to have any overlap at all.
Quite a bit. And I actually had Tetris on my list originally.
Tetris on Game Boy is a good one.
I took it off, though.
That's pretty good.
That was one that I took off for the other ones, I stayed pretty true.
If I put Tetris on my list, I would probably take Super Metroid off.
I actually had Duck Hunt on the list, but then I thought that Wii Sports was in a way more revolutionized and more known for motion controls.
Yeah, because if anything, you would say the Mario Brothers Duck Hunt cartridge.
Correct.
And you can sneak them in that way. Yeah, there's some real landmark moments in Nintendo's history, but that's a good question. Interesting, we both went with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's just I think it's just the de facto way to play. I don't think Super Mario Kart, even though it's got a great history, I don't know if that would be the one. All right, great question. X Long X Kurt wrote, I've been thinking of getting another tattoo. One idea I had for it was getting characters from games that I've played, but the types of characters that have been a big part of my gaming life for one reason or another, which leads to my question. What would be your top 5 characters that you would choose that have been a huge part of your gaming life?
So he's going to get 5 characters?
No, I don't think he's saying 5, but he's saying what would be our top 5 characters
I just
that
want
we
to
would
say,
choose to have a tattoo for.
He should pick his top 5 and then create a new character. Like have a Bowser head with like a Link arm holding it with maybe like a Mario leg. You know, like
everyone would just be like, "Were you drunk when you got there?"
Yeah, I think that's what he should do.
I made a list.
You did.
And
you usually don't read the questions. Now you put me on the spot. Let me look the asshole.
I don't always make a list, but this time it was an interesting question, and I was like, I want to make a list. Because what are the ideas that you would do in terms of gaming characters? I don't have any tattoos now. I'm not against tattoos. I just don't have any.
Can we read the follow up as well? Because I think it kind of ties into the same question.
Oh yeah, do you want to do that now?
Yeah.
So Texas Trey wrote, add on, what characters would you pick for a tattoo and where would it go?
I think it's essentially the same thing.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I think a little more clear there, but yeah, and that's kind of where I'm going. I don't know where they would go, but so I thought about like, okay, you just instinctively pick your favorite games, but just because I have a favorite game, it doesn't necessarily mean I want like
I'll be honest,
I
wouldn't want a Link tattoo on me.
Right, exactly. Like I could see you going for Bowser or Little Mac.
I would definitely get a Goomba on my ass cheek.
A Goomba on your ass cheek. So if I had to pick 5, my list actually has, because I have to go by games that I love, but games that have a character of impact.
Sure.
And my list, maybe a little bit predictable, but maybe not, ended up with Bayonetta, Max and Chloe from Life is Strange, of course.
Of course.
Madeline from Celeste, because I think there's some inspirational messages you can pull from that game. The main character of Sayonara Wild Hearts, but not because she's a fleshed out character, but I would get it in like that pink and blue neon style. I think it would just look really neat. And it would be kind of abstract. People wouldn't even know what it is. And then maybe Lara Croft. But I wouldn't get it. I know. I wouldn't know where to put it. So I kind of ran out. But then I did come up with ideas that aren't necessarily my favorite games or whatever, but I think would be good tattoos. 8-bit Link. Specifically 8-bit Link when he's got the sword out.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
This guy right here.
Ooh, Rob.
I think Rob, just like the face, would be a freaking awesome tattoo tramp stamp. Like, totally.
Maybe running your forehead.
I put the Triforce. I feel like the Triforce is overdone, so I don't think I would do it. I feel
like the Triforce, to someone that doesn't know what it is, could be some type of sexual symbol. Which you might take in the wrong way.
Would you do the Triforce like on the back of your hand?
Absolutely not.
All right. I feel like I see a lot of people with like Triforces tattooed, so I probably wouldn't do that.
Bowser, Goomba, maybe a Bomb somewhere, and maybe like all 7 Koopalins, like a
Koopa
freaking
kits?
arm,
a sleeve of the Koopa kits.
All the Koopalins. That's
wow,
what
that's
I would
funny.
do.
I see you with like a Little Mac when he's got his hands in the air.
I would
and
do a
he
Little Mac
wins
somewhere
on your like forehead.
On my forehead. I think I'd do a Little Mac like on my inner thigh.
I mean, that would be, yeah, Little Mac somewhere.
Punch in like my dick, like it'd be like in the punch form, or like uppercutting.
Would you ever get like a Nintendo logo tattooed?
Honestly, I think if I had to pick like one thing, it would be honestly be a Goomba. I don't know where, but it represents like it would
Not on your
represent my
ass cheek,
dog in a way, though. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it would be more symbolized than just the character.
Okay.
It'd be a little one. It'd be like probably like a little bit bigger than a quarter. I don't know where I'd put it. I don't know.
That's interesting.
I mean, realistically, if you had to pick one, like what would it be? You know what I'm saying? That wouldn't and it'd probably be somewhere you wouldn't see, just because I wouldn't want it to be like.
I have always said if I ever get a tattoo, it'd be something chess related because it means a lot to me, and I think you can do some cool design. So I was thinking getting like a checker, like a checkerboard, but obviously a chessboard, like taking up my whole like shin. Basically a sleeve, like a shin sleeve with a chessboard with some chess pieces.
No piece. Oh, but the pieces.
There'd be some pieces. I'd have to see some artwork. I couldn't think of anything in my head.
Sure.
But
I've
Googled it and seen it. So I would just do a chess thing. If I had to get a Nintendo character or a Nintendo related thing, I think the Rob would be freaking cool. I probably would do kind of a sleeve because I wouldn't be able to choose of different Nintendo characters. But like definitely there'd be a Rob, 8-Bit Link, like those sort of characters in there. Maybe we're Dads After Dark. Maybe I would get the one with like Samus in the bikini. I don't know. Maybe get your whole arm in that Nintendo red. Ooh. I'd love to know which some of our listeners have in terms of Nintendo tattoos. I know in my gaming group, there's a few people with kids with Nintendo names. A couple of Links and a Zelda, like that sort of thing. So, I mean, that's interesting.
Good stuff. Good questions. Good convo.
Very good questions. That's all we got.
That's it. That's all we have, John.
That's a show.
2.5 hours. Time. Well, John, what do we have coming up in the next few weeks?
We have got a lot coming up in the next 2 weeks. February 28th, which is a day after you're listening to this, Splatoon 3 Expansion Pass Wave 1, the Inkopolis.
Nobody cares.
Area. I'm going to be curious to see when this actually comes out, if it actually is kind of neat. I don't have the expansion pass, though, so I won't be seeing it. March 1st, not a game. The Mandalorian Season 3 starts. I know a lot of people are really excited about that.
But more importantly, Survivor.
Oh, really?
March 1st, Wednesday.
Nobody cares about that.
Everybody cares. Sorry to interrupt.
Everybody in the Four Horsemen cares, except for me. The big one I'm waiting for, Dead Cells, the Return to Castlevania DLC, $10, in case you're curious. Comes out March 6th. Can't wait for that. Fatal Frame, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse. That is a digital only. That is coming out March 9th. That is a port that we've never had before. It's coming from Japan. So it's new to us. And then I threw this on here just because of the name, but remember that game, Oni Road to be the Mightiest Oni?
No.
You remember. That comes out March 9th.
Is that right? I'm going to look it up.
Little announcement right here. On our next episode in 2 weeks, special guest Justin Masson is going to be joining us.
We've been waiting 120 episodes for this.
You ever hear him on other podcasts? He curses like a sailor.
He's a dirty man. I can't wait for it.
So dirty. But he's going to be here, and we'll have a surprise for him. If you've listened to the show, you know what's coming for Justin. You know. Even if he doesn't.
He probably has no idea.
I can't wait. That's it. That's a wrap. Let's go watch The Last of Us. I'm going to go watch The Last of Us right now. You go to bed. You go to bed.
Alrighty.
Got work tomorrow. Good night, Dads.
Good night.
Good night, Drew.
The Dads After Dark show is part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. You can subscribe to us anywhere podcasts are available, including Google, Overcast, Spotify, and Stitcher. And if you're using Apple Podcasts, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review. Pretty please? Be sure to join us on the Nintendo Dads Discord in our Dads After Dark channels for some naughty After Dark talk. Leave us a voicemail with Anchor and we'll play it on our next show. Check our podcast description for the link. Follow us on Twitter and now TikTok at @NDadsAfterDark or email us at dadsafterdarkshow@gmail.com. And a big thank you to Family Jewels for our show's music. That's all for tonight. Good night, dads. Sweet dreams.
Also John talking on a podcast, laughing back and forth at what the other had to say. Watching some Amaranth and having such a good time. Hoo-lolly, golly, what a day. Never ever thinking they would play a more amazing plethora of junior RPG games. Never ever thinking John would give a game a lower score than 7, cause he's clearly out his brain. You know he is. Hey, it's John and also Drew talking on a podcast, breaking down the stories and the topics of the day. And talking shit and playing games every other Sunday. Hoo-lolly, golly, what a day. Hoo-lolly, golly, what a day.